Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I am so excited to have on a 39 and 40-year-old from Seaforth and Cornwall, Ontario, Canada. Their hockey journeys have taken them to Canada, the USA, Germany, England, and Italy. They returned to the sheds after episode 54 and 66 that have combined for 839 goals or plays. Staples of the Cornwall Colts and Sarnia Steeplejacks. One became a legend of the Sheffield Steelers. And hey, Sibsy, episode 100, his jersey should be retired. He won because he won 7 championships and had 489 points in 432 games played. The other, for some reason, is still playing hockey, where he is living and a playing legend with the Atlanta Gladiators, where his jersey will be retired whenever he decides to quit. He is now over 1,000 games played professionally, and I'm pretty sure 300 goals and counting, folks. He's the franchise's all-time leading goal scorer. And I guess his jersey will be retired as well. But they combined for, and how I really know them, was their time with the Ferris State Bulldogs, where they combined for 299 collegiate points. Welcome back to the shed, Derek Nesbitt and Jeff Legue.
Thanks, Wally.
I got messed up a couple times there, but
299. They must have gypped us on 1 point to get. We got to get 300. We got all elite prospects there.
Yeah, you guys were a year or two ahead of me, so there probably wasn't any video replay. You guys probably if they re-looked at it, you might lose a couple.
That's for sure.
Okay. Legue, how are you doing this evening?
You know what, man? It's another battle of the minus 25.
It is really cold out, man.
Oh my God, I can't do anything, man. I went out my 4-wheeler yesterday. It was awesome. It was like +1. Now it's minus 25.
Yeah, my the door to the shed was frozen today. I thought I had locked it, and it was just frozen. Like I had to body check it open.
You got the other guy sitting in freaking. Probably still got his bathing suit on from the pool.
Yeah. So Nezzy, where and what are you doing?
Yeah, the pool was open in Fort Myers, Florida today. I wasn't by there, but it was.
Don't tell me you're at the Lonnie Kai.
No, I'm not. I'm too old for that place. But I've been there before for sure.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have. What a great place, eh? I celebrated a roller hockey championship there.
Oh, Jesus.
And visited there with the Daytona Beach Bombers.
Well.
Yeah.
Listen, I got a quick one for you here. When we went there, we flew in from the All-Star game. Remember? I mean, you went to the All-Star game for our first year, the rookie one.
I wasn't there. Was
it you?
No, Soupy. Jeff Campbell.
Soupy, Milam. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I flew in. Still pretty lit.
Yeah.
We played the next day. I put my bag in the front office at the hotel. Next morning, get up, go for breakfast, jump on the bus, get the pregame skate. I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, Bez. He's like, what? I was like, because Besner was my assistant coach. I didn't want to tell the head coach. And he's like, I go, my equipment's at the hotel. He goes, what? I go, yeah, when I came back from the flight yesterday in the cab, I put him in the front office and I forgot to bring him on the bus to the thing. It's like 40 minutes away to the rink or whatever it was. He's like, okay, hop on the bike. I'm like,
oh my God.
Oh, even worse. Yeah.
One of my first ever AHL practices, we had to go to the practice rink, and I'm like the nervous rookie, and I forgot my helmet at the game rink. So then I get to the practice rink and I got no bucket, and there's no extra bucket, and the coach just hated me. Oh God. Yeah. Good times.
I've only had that happen to me one time where we go to the practice rink. So with me being the hockey director now at our practice rink, I have an office there. So I have some gear there. Like perfect. So it was a few years ago. So I ended up grabbing, I forgot a glove, or I you know what it was? I think I have 2 pairs of gloves in my stall, and I grabbed 2 left ones So I only had 2 left ones. So I went and grabbed, so I didn't completely forget them. So I went and grabbed the gloves out of the room that I had, out of my office. And it has one of those whistles that you Velcro around the wrist on it. So I had that out in practice, and I'm fucking blowing it every few times just to mess with the coach a little bit. It was pretty funny. I just took over practice.
Oh, this was one of the first episodes. This was right at the start of this. This was last hockey season. We went to my sister's for Christmas, and we did an outdoor rink and kid skates with all its gear. And then we're like, let's leave it in the heated garage. He's got a game at like 9 a.m. back in Kincardine, like an hour and a half away. So I'm like, oh yeah, we'll just pick it up on the way out. And then I show up at the rink. I get up at like 6:30 in the morning, 7 a.m., like hungover, drive him to the game and show up and like open up the back. And I'm like, there's no equipment in here. And one of the dads went and got the younger brother's equipment. And then my son went out and played with these skates that didn't work, a white bucket, white gloves. He looked ridiculous. And it was something else.
Hey, you got to take care of their equipment.
Okay. So anyways, we got really off the rails to start here. So Nezzy, I guess we didn't really talk about, you're in Florida right now and you're still playing hockey.
I'm still playing. Yeah.
So you're playing the Everblades tomorrow? Yeah.
Tomorrow and Saturday down here for 2.
Jeez, that sounds warm. Legue?
Got a nice 77 degrees today.
Okay, so here we got to get this over with at the start, 1,000 games. How the hell do you do that? Well done, sir.
Yeah, thank you. That was right before Christmas. That was the last December 22nd. So it was actually our last game before Christmas.
That's good timing.
Was the 1,000. So yeah, it was good. It was nice. It was the end of a long month of a lot. It was on the road too. It was in Jacksonville.
So it's probably just like the NHL where you get like huge gifts like Rolexes and stuff, or what?
No, not quite. But you know what? I'm not taking anything away from it. My teammates actually just bought me. They bought me it was a big, sick bottle of Johnny Walker Blue Label.
Oh,
so
I'm not mad enough for that.
A few $100 bottle for the old guy. So I was pretty impressed by that. I was humbled. That was pretty cool of them. So yeah, wasn't expecting it at all. One of the guys in our team actually messaged me over Christmas, like, hey, I'm getting my father-in-law. You like whiskey, right? I was like, yeah. I'm getting my father-in-law a nice bottle. He's like, what's something you would buy that, or what's something you would want to try, but you wouldn't buy? And I'm going through I'm like, wait, I'm out with my kid right now. I'm running errands. I'm like, I have a bunch at home. Let me take a picture. He's like, no, I'm like there right now. Like, what would you think? And he went right top shelf for me. So it was pretty cool. So this league.
So what kind of thing did they do for you that night? Did they do anything? The Gladiators? What'd they do?
No. So, what's actually pretty cool that's happening is, the Spit and Chicklets guys and Biz got word of it, and I know Biz a little bit, and they're doing a promo night for us, our team, February 25th. Spit and Chicklets basically like sponsoring the night, and they're as a home game, and they're celebrating my 1,000th game that night in February. So it's going to be, Biz will be there. I think a couple of guys from the Chicklets group are going to be there, including Biz, and it's supposed to be they're trying to sell out the place and have quite a party. So I don't really know.
Well, I don't really know. Really cool. Not well done, Biz. Good work, man.
He's doing a web series, and they've said it. It's a 3-episode web series called Welcome to the Jungle. As we know, everyone calls the miners like the jungle, and one of the 3 episodes is actually going to be on me and the 1,000th game. So they're going to follow me. From what I know, I think they're going to interview a bunch of guys the day before and do a bunch of stuff. And then they're going to kind of follow me around the day of that game that's celebrating it. So I like a 24/7 type thing.
That's really cool, dude.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't want to, they've said it enough, but just to promote it a little bit, kind of humbled by it. I don't know how much I deserve that at this level, but it's
oh dude, it doesn't matter what level it is. It's professional hockey and it's 1,000 games, dude. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter like if the other guys made more money when they're playing against you. Like it's still professional hockey. You're getting hit just as hard in the coast as you are in the show.
Yeah. But as I said, it's humbling, and like I said, I don't know if I deserve it, but I'm gonna enjoy every damn minute of it. I'll tell you that. I'm pretty kind of blown away by what they've done, and it's going to be fun. So,
well, like look at the shirt you're wearing.
Hey, you're allowed to bring a couple friends.
Come on, dude, you're in. They'll fly. Yeah, we'll get them to fly in.
Oh, well, that's awesome, dude. That's going to be a hell of a night. So when is it?
Yeah, February 25th, Friday night.
And then that'd be really cool to see that episode when it comes out too.
Yeah, I don't know when that'll be.
I flip-flop between these podcasts, Chicklets. There's like 3 or 4 at work. Yeah, and I hear this, and I'm like, right away, I'm like, oh my god, that's awesome. He's like, yeah. He goes, I don't know what's gonna go down. I'm like, that's gonna be a sick party.
Yeah, that's gonna be a time.
Yeah, but it's cool. They're doing 3 different episodes, and one of them's going to be based on that, and it's they've been promoting it all the time at the end of their shows now, so it's pretty cool for the team to get that some recognition and some extra exposure too, and for the league. So it's cool what they're doing. It's like Biz kind of recognizes where he came from, where he started. So I mean, that's always nice to see.
Well, maybe someday he'll come in the shed, because I played against him in the coast,
That'd be a big get. Hey, that'd be a huge get.
He played in Cardiff. I mean, don't be scared of the shed,
No shit. Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
He did.
Don't be too big time. Come on in the shed, big guy.
He would. He might.
Right. Okay. So I guess Legue, you're gonna have a night like that someday too. Maybe we'll get like a UK 24/7 in Sheffield when they finally retire your jersey, right?
Hey,
they should.
I'm just waiting for the call.
I know. I'm waiting for Simsy to let us know. Maybe he'll break the news on the podcast or something someday.
Yeah.
Episode 200, Simsy. Just thinking out loud, Simsy. Episode 200, we could release it on the podcast. Surprise everybody.
Your number's not up there?
No.
Has anybody worn number 11 since?
Well,
so I don't know if you heard this all. That's why I wore 12 my last 2 years. So a guy worked for me, got it retired. I was allowed to wear it till I left. I went down when I left to go down.
Yeah, you did wear 12.
When I came back, that was like, I didn't ask for it. I just said, I'll take 12. So.
What? Okay, so number 11 was already was going to get retired, but you wore it that whole time?
So that was, I don't know if that was a Simsy and Tommy Plummer thing, but Simsy goes, you're allowed to wear it till you leave. And I was like, okay. I was like, you sure? He's like, yeah, it's all good. So I wore it. I mean, I think I got a couple stink eyes there when the day went down, but I mean, that's what I was told. So, I mean, whatever.
It's an interesting situation.
Yeah, kind of when I left and then came back, I kind of joked with it was G at the time. I was like, G, you get 11 back? And he goes, he told me right away. He goes, let's not go down that road. He goes, let's pick another number. I'm like, all right. But it was just a joke. I didn't want.
Okay, well, that's a interesting tale there in the shed.
Yeah.
And while we're on the topic, I don't have a budget to come down and maybe like host a big party for you. But like I'll send you a t-shirt.
Go fund me page, man.
Yeah.
British pounds.
I'll send you a t-shirt,
Dude, hey, I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you right now, whether it's retired or not, anyone I ever talk to, so I get asked a lot about school and like, well, who'd you play with? Like, who is this guy that you play with? Like, I have guys that I play with, they're younger, and they'll like go back in the archives and try to figure out who this old bastard is they're playing with. And well, who is this guy? You guys had a good, and I'm like, oh, he played over in the UK for a decade. I was like, he's got his number retired there. I tell anyone that asks about you that your number's retired there. So according to me, it's retired. And anyone I've talked to thinks it's retired if they hear your name. So there you go.
Maybe they can put up
Simsy,
11.5, eh? Like 11 and 12 mix.
Yeah. 11 and a half.
Yeah. Should be.
Oh gosh. Okay. Anyways, another guy that played a lot of games, Nezzy, who I got on because I posted you were coming on, and Tifu then followed the podcast, and I just had him on. So he played a lot of games in the coast against you. You'd know him.
Yeah. I mean, I ran him a number of times, different years. I did see you were on. I haven't listened to it yet, but I have it downloaded.
Because he was on the Daytona Beach Bombers when we played you in Idaho, and you won your championship.
Yeah.
What a joke.
Sorry, buddy.
Whatever.
Still sour. Let it go, Wally.
I won't. Okay.
Yeah, he was good. He was a good player, though. He was a really good player in this league. Kind of did it all too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good warrior.
Legue, where and what are you doing now?
Well, I am currently working at the BASF as a material handler guy type, so shift work type thing. It's like when you retire, you go to the mill. This is somewhat the mill, but it's like I would say like the Cadillac of mills.
I understand. Yeah.
I do everything in there.
And you're in Cornwall, right?
Right in Cornwall. It's we moved back 5 years ago, and then it was kind of a quick decision when I should have stayed, but got a little frustrated with what was going on, and I decided to say, you know what, I think it's time for me to move on, and made a quick decision to move back. And
I tell you, you're sure a legend over there when you talk to your former teammates. I've had on, Simsy, not a teammate, but then Tomo was just on, and Jono was on before, and I saw you in somewhat of an erotic photo shoot, eh? You were naked on the ice. It's on the poster. It's going to be up in the shed shortly.
I've been running around trying to put the kids to bed. I've been looking at posters. Is he texted to me?
No, this isn't your poster. This is Tomo's poster.
It's like 7 of you guys.
He put a picture of you naked on his poster, so now it's going to go up in my shed.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
What naked picture?
So there was 6 of you.
You guys are on
you've been on that. You've been in that many photos that you've been naked on the ice that you don't even remember this.
Yeah.
What is going on in Sheffield? I really want to know.
Nothing about nudity. We're not supposed to get in trouble in this podcast. We're both married with kids, so
this was a team event. There's 6 or 7.
We did like a fireman's photo shoot or something. Yeah. We do that. We go on the ice. Well, there's cameras all over the building. So we're trying to hide our stuff from the camera people. So there's like 3 people out there doing their thing. Not only we got the girl at the front desk. As we walk out of the rink, she smiles like, "Great photo shoot, boys." We're like, we forgot about the cameras. So I'm pretty sure she's seen everything going on. When they would turn around, we'd be like wiggling everything.
That was one thing I learned.
That's my younger years.
When I went to Germany, like the nudity just wasn't a thing. You'd go into like the masseuse's room, and the guys would literally be like laying on the masseuse table, like just junk out, right? And like getting their legs rubbed down with just like everything out right in front of the.
Jesus.
You never went to a sauna?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like our coach walked into our gym that our team went to. This is a good story. PJ Fenton's wife and my wife do a workout, and the sauna at the gym is co-ed, right? So after a workout, if you want a sauna, you go in and have a sauna. Well, they're in there, they got their towels around them. And then our little redheaded coach that's just a dickhead walks in, hammer out, and just says, "Ladies." So
happened to me. I was so embarrassed. I had my gym shorts on. I'm in the sauna, and all of a sudden this lady walks in and kind of like just sits there. And I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, right away, I'm thinking I'm in the wrong friggin' place. And I'm like, so I get out, I walk out, I look up at the thing, and it's like, there's
Just
no like,
no men's, women's,
no men. I thought it was the women's one, and oh man, what a mess. And then I get to practice, I'm like, boys, there's a girl that walked in. He's like, yeah, it's common. I'm like, well,
I learned a lot about saunas over there, I tell you.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Anyways, getting off.
Didn't read German either.
Yeah, you were in Landsberg, eh? You were only there 1 year?
Yeah.
What are you drinking over there? What do you got there?
This is a Crown and Ginger Ale.
Oh, and a big beer. That's
I bet you Nezzy still being a hot professional. He's got a protein shake. Oh, that's the Hofbrauhaus, Munich.
Hofbrauhaus. I've been many nights there.
Nice place, fun time. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We did Oktoberfest in Munich when I played in Bolzano. Yeah, we buzzed over.
What a time that is, eh?
Oh, Jesus.
Well, it was 40 minutes from Munich.
Those beers.
What was that? Oh, wow. Yeah, we were like 3 hours. We had to leave at like 6 in the morning, drank on the way there. Didn't get back until about midnight. That was a long day.
It's a long
I think we went every Monday for, I think it's like 4 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
Is it 4? I think it's 4 weeks. We went every Monday.
We went,
yeah.
Well, it's interesting because like all the cities have one, right? Like it's not just Oktoberfest. Stuttgart had a Volksfest, and then there was Bietigheim has a Feder market, and like every town's got a thing, and they're different weekends. It's like if you want fun, man, they're out there.
What?
No shortage.
No.
I have no problem standing on tables, smashing beers with people, singing German songs. I have no problem with it.
I have the whole lederhosen thing and everything.
Oh yeah, it's the best time ever. Yeah, oh yeah, you get on the table singing and cheersing and eating sausages and crushing every food there is when you're on your way out.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, okay, so I got a story though from this week because I got to tell it just to thank the guy. Is I haven't left the shed in a couple years really that often. So the wife says go get groceries, and I'm in the country here, so I decided to take a road that was no winter maintenance because I wanted to take the long way. I want some excitement in my life. I was cruising. And it was going great until it wasn't, and I didn't have the momentum to get through, and I got stuck in the middle of nowhere really. And I called up a buddy I played senior A with the Ripley Wolves, Paul Stewart. What a beauty. Guy would do anything for the team when I played, and he is a farmer that's somewhat in the area, maybe about a 10-minute drive, 5-10-minute drive. And I call him like middle of the day. It was my lunch hour, right? I'm just going to the grocery store and back, and I was stuck. And he came out as soon as I called. He literally dropped everything, came out with his tractor and got me out. And I tell you, I was back to work on time. But thanks, Paul. That's what friends are for. That's the only way I can do this shed is people making the time for me and being buddies, right?
You can't be taking alternate routes off Lake Huron, man.
I'm going to stick to the main roads the rest of the winter. I've learned my lesson. Yeah, it's not summertime. I understand. No. So where in Fort Myers are you? What hotel are you in? Do you even know?
What is this? Embassy Suites.
Is that right by the
We're
rink
like right across that. What's that?
Right by the rink?
Yeah, we're right across the highway from it. Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but there apparently is a place that has legs and eggs around there. It's by the Lonnie Kai. Yeah, apparently that it's came up on the pod with Matt Caruth that there is a place that they had their rookie party. It was legs and eggs and then the Lonnie Kai. So if you're looking for breakfast, a little pregame meal, there's something called legs and eggs around there.
All right.
Okay.
I'll ask a few guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you're probably having a protein shake if you got a game tomorrow, eh?
Yeah.
That's the new game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess since last time I saw you also scored your 300th goal, eh? Because I saw your wife and your kid got to come out and drop the puck.
So,
or what was that?
That was 2 seasons ago before COVID hit.
God,
so
too many milestones. I can't keep track.
Yeah, but that was opening night. so the opening night, they gave away this like hologram poster to everyone. And my wife and little guy did the puck drop for opening night. So that's pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Okay.
To have him, he doesn't know what's going on really. He'll be 3 in March, so he knows a little bit of what's going on right now. But that was cool. Yeah, that was awesome.
Okay, I got a random question for you two guys. Just because you guys played together for 4 years at Ferris, okay?
Yep.
Nezzy, what did he eat for pregame meal? What did Legue eat for pregame meal? What would he eat in college?
It was always the same. We'd go to it was always at the Rock Cafe, and rubber steaks. And then it was really and then baked potato, and then probably a salad or veggies or whatever. But that was literally it.
Baked potato?
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, I know. And I didn't know it wasn't like it was now where I mean, honestly, half the guys would just go through the line. But it was funny because we always had it was always set for us, but it was right where the whole carousel went of all the other students. And we'd have every student jumping in the line, and you'd have to be like that guy, be like, this is actually just for us. Sorry, we're assholes. What do you want us to say? But it got awkward a few times, but it was always, is that right? It was always steak, baked potato.
That's it.
And then whatever.
So you guys didn't get to pick. Right? It was just given to you.
Yeah, it was already made. Yeah, and then they started getting smart and putting us, when you walked into the Rock, we had that little tier
up to the left. Yeah.
Is this a restaurant or is this a cafeteria in the school?
One of the cafeterias on campus. Yeah.
So even if you're a senior, you're going there.
Yeah.
We had meal cards. We had meal cards all the way through.
Oh, yeah, really? Once we were off campus, they'd give us money to buy our own food. And that's when things got really weird, man. That's when we gained some weight. We didn't know how to cook. It was nuts.
Well, there was money on the card. So if I remember right, there was a couple cafeterias where you could take stuff home with you, almost like groceries, right? And you could use your card for that. And it would take off so much money that would equal how many meals for that week or whatever. But we still always went to the cafeteria because we weren't far from campus. And
in Big Rapids, you could walk to one end of the town and the other in 6 minutes. And so everybody always came to the Rock, or they came to Center Ice, or what was the other one?
NASCAR.
Yeah.
These are all cafeterias?
Yeah, I think it was 4 or 5 on campus. And
all you can eat at
the reason why I went from 147 to 170 is
147.
At Western Michigan, it was all you can eat, and it was there'd be pizza night, there'd be whatever. It was just all you can eat, and they just made you work out for 3 hours, and it's crazy how much you could eat after that.
Once you swipe your card, you could sit in there for 3 hours if you wanted.
You can do a couple rounds, right?
Always hit an ice, make your own ice cream tray.
So you guys had dessert too, eh?
Oh yeah.
What about breakfast? Right. We used to have the hash browns, the eggs, the whole deal, right? Waffles, pancakes, whatever you want.
There was a guy making your omelet.
Yeah, we had the omelet station. Yep.
Yeah. Tick, tick, tick. And then
I heard the Western Michigan hockey team has a chef in their locker room now making omelets in the morning.
Yeah. Wow. I believe it.
Well, I guess, when you're ranked 3rd or 4th in the country, I guess whatever, right? Hey, go Broncos, baby. Go Broncos.
I seen it the other day. I don't know what I was listening to. And it was saying the ranks in Western Michigan. I was like, no way. I'm like, he's 100% going to bring this up.
Actually, it just happened to come up. I didn't mean to.
Ferris got 6 wins all year. I'm like,
you know what though? It is what it is. But for me, it's I would have rather beat you when I was playing there than now.
I was just gonna say that's what we were ranked when we were there. So for 1 year,
you guys were up there. That Western Michigan was ranked up there until I got there. And then we sank like an anchor.
I figured we were going to get around to that, so I wasn't going to bring it up until you did.
It's all good. So here's the next question. You guys, when was the last time you guys saw each other?
Okay. That picture I sent you of me and him together in the ties. That's at Smitty's. That's at Brett Smith's wedding, one of his wedding in Guelph. That was the last I was saying that. That would have been like
Brett Smith.
Yeah. So I was trying to think.
I know him.
Becky, 14 years ago.
She was there because that's when I met her. Yes.
I flew her in. It was her first time in Canada. So she flew into Toronto. I went from Cornwall to Toronto, picked her up, and then we went to the wedding.
So where is she from?
What?
Where is she from?
She's from not Sheffield, but just outside of Sheffield.
Oh, okay.
A place called Doncaster. She was born in Sheffield, but lived in Doncaster. She went to Sheffield University.
So that's right where I'm from, right? Guelph. I grew up right by Brett Smith, and we played roller hockey together, actually. And he was just a couple years older than me.
Yeah.
So that would have been 2008.
Oh, yeah. What are you, an 83?
Yeah. So he played for Guelph Junior B, and I played for Elmira. I think we played 1 year against each other, maybe.
Yeah, he's same age as Legue. He's an 81. Yeah, he's a year
81.
older than me. So that would have been
sold.
Oh wait.
No, man. Believe me, I hear it. I went to play in a boot tournament this weekend with all like people around here and whatever, and we get some guys like that played pro and whatever. And I'm looking at the team picture, we won it, and I'm like, this is awful. I'm like, I'm the old guy now. Like everybody else is 5, 6, 7 years younger than me, and I'm like,
dude, you want an age story then? This year, I mean, I got guys on my team born in 2000.
2000.
Yeah, there's a guy on my team. His mom is 10 months older than me. We'll just lay that out there. It's not to get weird, but really, like, right?
Yeah.
I could be these kids' dads. So
right.
I feel you.
You're still doing pretty good though, eh? You're having another season just like every other one.
It's going all right.
You're just a machine, eh?
Lots of ice. I played D the other night though. We were a little short, so I had to play D. I'm just utility. Throw me where you need.
Well, you learn as you go, right? You can probably do it all now. Probably sharpen skates by now, eh?
If need be, if I have to, I'll do it. If I keep getting paid to do it, I'll do it.
Okay. So would you guys remember when you guys met? When you got recruited to Ferris? Did you have like an initiation day or anything? Because I remember when I met my classmates.
Well,
the
first day everybody meets and then we help each other move in, and that's probably the first day I met him.
Yeah, you guys didn't go down before, because we had to go down for like an initiation for like a weekend, and that's where we met everybody.
No, I was there in the middle of the summer and I did an orientation thing, but it's because I was in Grand Rapids for a weekend for a wedding with my family. So we went up there and they said, well, come up and do your orientation. So that would have been like July maybe, or June or something. And then I went back. And then we got there like late August, right before school started, because school always started there a week before Labor Day. And then we'd always go the full 5 days, and then we'd go, and then into Labor Day, we would always go on a trip somewhere. Like one of the players on the team like had a lake in Michigan, a lake house or cottage or something. We'd always find a place to go as a team for that Labor Day weekend, then come back to school. But I would have just met you, like you said, maybe I think freshmen got there a week before school started so we could get into the dorm. So I remember. Did
you have the freshmen with you when you go to the Labor Day thing or no?
Yeah, the whole team went.
Like you guys had like a full team chin.
It was after school started. It was school had already started. Yeah.
Oh man, those weekends are the best, eh? When you get a full college team together for a weekend. My God.
Yeah. So about that, Yorkie sends me like 6 videos. my wife like, what are you getting at this time? And I'm like, I don't know. Like York sending me something. I pressed play, and one of those weekends.
Oh, I think I know this.
1 a.m, and I'm just ripping around, no gear, like nothing. Like, she's like, are you naked? Like, get away from here. Like, anyways, there's like 6.
I know exactly what was going on. I know exactly the video because I was running around with you. I know exactly what was going on. We can't say it.
Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah,
this
was like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, Jesus. Smitty's on the message. Smitty's like, oh, weird. Legue's got his clothes off.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, there's like 8 other guys. What the heck is going on? I'm like, Jesus.
People that have videos from back then, you don't need to have those videos around.
Recorded on a cassette player, but he taped it on his. I'm like, you still have a VCR?
Jeepers.
Oh, he screenshotted it. Oh, shit.
Well, okay, Nezzy, what do you think's changed the most in hockey over your time? Because I personally, when we were at university, like we're talking about this, there were no cameras around. Nobody was videoing anything. So like guys were like, they weren't as worried about what they were doing, and guys were just having fun.
No, but this was like a video camera thing. like the big thing. Smitty of Brett Smith's the one that brought it.
Yeah. Did we not? When did we get cell phones our sophomore year? Remember we all got them at the same time? Was it our sophomore year?
We had Nextels there.
Yeah, the beep beep.
Oh, you guys weren't beep beeping. I hated the beep beep. You guys weren't them.
I know.
Stop it. I hated those guys on campus. That was disgusting.
My first year pro is my first cell phone that I had with a camera.
I remember the first one I got was a camera where like you could take a picture of someone, and then if they called you, it'd pop up that it was them.
Yeah.
That was the only reason to take a picture. Yeah.
I think we had the same one with a little sprint one, and it would,
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get over the fact you were using those beep ones, because literally when we got to Michigan, my roommates were from Ontario, and we had never seen the Nextel, and I guess we're a couple classes behind you. We get to school and literally every single person on campus is going, where you at? Where you at? God, I was like, shut up.
Yeah, but it's more like, what?
And then it was just like,
it was awful.
Oh, yeah, I remember those phones. I can't believe you guys were doing that.
Yeah. You know what? I think it was like, maybe it was like Christmas or freshman year of getting them.
The smartest thing that we did.
Well,
a lot of other stuff.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, you have to do a lot of learning in college, eh? So
first time away from home for me.
Besides school.
It was the first time away from home for me. Was it the same for you, Nezzy? Everybody?
No, I was away.
In Sarnia. Yeah.
Yeah. For 3 years.
That's not that far from home though.
But you have a billet, so you're not really away from home. You know, like it's you're still having things done for you and how, you know, like.
So did you guys cook for yourselves when you're off campus then at Ferris? Like once you're out of the dorms, you're saying you still could go pick up all the food. Did you ever have to cook?
I always went to there's like we'd always go for supper. Like you practice from 1 till 4?
It seemed like it.
1 till 5, and then if you had class at 6, you'd shower. Everybody, where are you going? I'm going to the Rock.
Yeah.
And you head over. We'd all have supper together, and then go to your class or go home.
It was very rare. It was very rare that like any of us, at least in our class anyway, that we ever ate alone for any meal. Like, very rare.
You're always doing something with someone, right?
Well, your schedules,
a lot of your schedules
were so, You were so in sync.
What did you guys take at school?
I
was marketing major.
I started off in small business.
You were small business? That's what you took?
Yeah, and then I switched it over to criminal justice after my.
That's right.
I think it might have been my midway between the sophomore year. That's why I had to stay one summer, and then I had to take 2 classes. When I was in pro, I was taking 2 classes.
That's when we worked at the golf course.
Yeah.
What golf course?
Yeah, we worked at the golf course together. Oh my God, that was.
I was a market. So to start this, so
hold on, you took marketing.
So okay, I was gonna to restart that because he switched and I actually switched. I went in as a I went in with my major my freshman year as in pro golf management.
Yeah, PGM, man. That's right.
The PGM, which everyone kind of laughs at it, but Ferris is the first. I think they're the first school in North America to ever offer this program. It's actually amazing where their alumni are at the courses around North America are insane. Like talking Doral, Medina, Cog Hill. Like I remember them telling me that like we can get you internships at all these places. Like we have alumni there when they're the whole kind of recruiting pitch or whatever, because they knew I was I golfed a lot competitively as a kid, and that was a big thing. And I was really into that program when I was first being recruited there. So I went in as that, and then I just, like most of us, it was like I was there to play hockey, so I didn't want to be bothered with schooling and like being sent off to do whatever in the summer. I was like, okay, what if I do marketing and then maybe I switch this later if that's something I want to do, depending what I do. So I sophomore year, or even maybe after my freshman first semester, I switched. But there was a course on campus, and we worked there. Was it just one summer?
Yeah,
maybe?
I don't know if we were.
Were you guys cutting greens or what were you doing?
Yeah, greens, tees, and bunker. Well,
that's what I did in high school. That was my summer job.
I don't think I was cutting greens. I was more of a playing in the bunker type of guy.
Yeah, you're saying you were raking the bunkers, eh? Yeah, that was high school. Yeah.
But the big catch was like we got to golf for free with a friend in a cart anytime we wanted. We got half off in the restaurant there, and we could get anything in the pro shop at cost. So it was like,
I never golfed. Like I didn't golf. Like he's the one that pretty much took me, and I bought a set of clubs.
Yeah,
I worked at the golf, and then I went from not playing golf ever to playing twice a day. We'd get 36 in, a couple of beers, go for supper, and maybe go back out,
go back till dark.
So I mean, June and the same thing. We were just down the road. We got memberships to one spring, a bunch of us, and like we just played golf. We took I think 1 or 2 classes, and we were there for 2 months, and then you just golf.
It was unreal. We played so much there, and you got so much better. You're just an athlete though, so you picked up on it quick, and you got a lot better. But it was having him. I was like, well, dude, you got to play, because then we can bring 2 guys. And we can have a foursome. We could like play games. So we would always each bring a guy, like whether Shibes would come or whoever else was in town at the time. Like
Shibes, Nick Shibley.
Yeah.
Well, even like Listowel Cyclone.
Yeah, there you go. Another Midwestern junior beer. And then like Garlock would play with us all the time. 2-time Stanley Cup champ. There he is. Jason Lyons, like all those local guys.
Yeah, Jason Lyons was the big
Chopper, who played later, like he would work the camps with us in the summers, and like those guys were always golfing with us. It was a time. It was awesome.
Legue still golf?
Yeah, I got a partial membership here, just at the Cornwall one, and then just I don't have enough time to get out all the time, so
I understand that.
You got to get the kids golf.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the plan. They already got the set. We're in the rain.
My kids are into it, but then you got to remember that, like, you got to pay for everybody to golf, right?
If I can play, it's
like
worth
$250 for a membership for them.
Jesus.
Oh, really?
They want the kids at the course. It's awesome.
No, there's a course here that the kids until they're 13, I think, play for free, like literally for free, and it's wild.
But that's how
my son can come. So
you're gonna suck them in for life that way, though. It's smart. Like
absolutely
play.
I wish I would have started when I was young. Like I love the game now. I can't get enough of it. It's frustrating. Believe me. Don't get me wrong, but I love it.
Nezzy, that came up in your episode, eh? That was I went to a golf tournament Seaforth, and that I saw your picture on the wall, right? And it was like I played against him in college. We talked about that. So you grew up beside the golf course. Same. I grew up beside the Elmira golf course, so I played all the time.
I think Legue's in that picture too. It's a goal I scored against Michigan my freshman year. I know the picture you mean, but I think we're all like arms up, and I think you and.
So were you guys line mates all 4 years?
Freshman year, me, you, and McIver, Deeks played together for the most part.
Yeah.
Second year, me, you, and Cooney the whole year.
Yeah.
I honestly think that line was like, it was the best line I think I ever saw was you two and Kunitz. Like, I honestly, like, I don't know, it was college, but like,
yeah,
I don't know, the way you guys played together, and like he was dominant, but like the way you two were already zigging and zagging together, it was like we couldn't stop you at Western Michigan. It was wild.
Yeah, that was those all 4 years I loved it, but that year sticks out in my mind.
yeah,
you never think you become that type of player. Like yourself, you're pretty good, but then to play with two guys that are above you and or as equal, and you dominate that much, and
it was
awesome.
Crazy, man.
It felt like that's when you feel like I belong here. It's good, you know.
Yeah.
So you always have that. You're like, oh, I'm gonna be. You know, a lot of guys show up to college at
Dude,
100 points and they don't score, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh.
Well, especially from like Midwest Ontario and Cornwall or whatever, there's so many guys that go to university for full rides, and they're kind of, I don't know if you want to call them flops, but like they put up like 5 to 10 points a year or 15 points a year, and
exactly.
You know, and that's what is that's a good career, and that's what most guys do. But like, yeah, you guys really ran amok.
Well,
year.
I mean, but even with Cooney from, you know, middle of Saskatchewan, which considered to most people's middle of nowhere, right? But we're kind of three really, I would say, forgotten. Like when you say when three guys play together, and this is no knock on like Ferret, that's not the case, but like
I know where you're going with this.
When three guys that play together lead the country in scoring, like the highest scoring line in the country, and by like it was, you know, the numbers were nuts.
And you're playing against the same teams. Michigan's playing against
what I'm
all
saying
those
is
players. Yeah.
But you're saying like, oh, like, okay, where'd they play? Minnesota, Michigan, BU, BC. Like, no, they're at Ferris. Like, it's like, okay, so they were missed out. Like someone.
When you guys weren't true freshmen, right? Like you guys, and none of you were, right?
I was 19.
19. I was 20.
Yeah, and Cooney was 20, I think, as a freshman.
Right, like he was an old college player. I remember that.
Or 21, because he's a 79, and he was 2 classes ahead of us, but 2 years older than you, 3 years older than me. But either right, like someone missed, right? Like someone missed on.
But back then, there's a lot of guys win at 20. I don't know, like from my area, anyways. Like a lot of guys didn't go at 18, 19. They waited till you're 20. Some guys signed at 18 and said, we're going in 2 years, or we're going next year, or whatever the case. But they always waited till you're a bit older.
I hear there's guys
for me,
like committing at like 15, right? Like there's guys
13, 12, like 14 now. It's nuts.
It is, that's like how can the kid know where he wants to go, and how can they know what he's going to be in 3-4 years?
Well, he doesn't. It's either the parents, which red flag, and like, I mean,
it's weird. Weird.
I didn't know about university scholarships till my 19-year-old year. They're like. After my first year juniors, they're like, do you want to go to the old or some O teams? I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm 135 pounds, 5 foot nothing. I'm like, I'm not going to the O. And then they're like, well, he's like, you better get your grades up. So then that's when I started. I was like almost graduated at high school, and I had to go back and get some marks up and write the SATs.
I remember freshman year too. I remember coming in and like, the board, like one of the first days of practice. And I think me and you were both like, you might not have been, but I know I was like 4th or 5th line left wing, whatever it was. It was like by like Collins, Kunitz, and then whoever that played with them. And then it would have been the older guys, and then down by us. And then like every day, every week, we kept, until that first game of the year, we kept climbing. And all of a sudden, like, we ended up like 2nd line players that year playing. I know me and you, we played on the power play with Cooney, Collins, and like probably Milam, which because we needed a D. That would have been our power play our freshman year, where we scored some points. And like, but like, I remember kind of knowing, I was like, I know what I can do. I knew but like that next year I got fortunate to play with these two. Like it was like I've to this day, and I've told people this, like there's not many, I probably couldn't count on like one hand how many guys I've played with who are as naturally gifted at the game as Jeff was. Like just born with, like naturally just like could handle a puck, could skate, could shoot, could score, could dish it, just read the game so friggin' well. There's like, there's probably 5 I could say, like if I'm counting 5 in my career, college and up, like, and honestly, and Cooney's not one of them. Like he wouldn't be one of them that's just so naturally as gifted, right? Like he was a different type of player. But if I'm saying 5, Jeff's on that list of just naturally gifted. It was sickening. Like the things he would
It's
do.
nice that you guys got to go through college together and get to play together through like that. You recruit at the same time. It's good timing for everybody.
Oh, yeah. And the funny thing is that the reason why I chose Ferris is because my number was available that year.
Because
like and Ohio State wanted me the following year. I had to play another year of juniors, and I was like, oh man, I'm like, I've already won 2 championships. I've won all the awards. I'm like, I have to
you were done with junior. Yeah, you were done with junior. Yeah,
and then they're like,
I find it interesting. You guys were all on Ferris though. Like when you think Collins was on in the shed earlier, I think he was like number 58 or so. But like I grew up watching him, and like when you think of like learning about universities, like the reason I found out about scholarships was because I was the super fan watching Rob Collins and Brandon Dietrich, who went to St. Lawrence, and those guys won the Sutherland Cup and got scholarships, and I was a little kid watching it. And then we won the Sutherland Cup and got scholarships, all me and my buddies. And we went to Ferris and watched our junior B trip as a team was to go to Ferris. And we watched you guys play. I think it was Northern. And we watched you guys play Collins, Kunitz, and it was pretty cool to see like the NCAA and how, but then I knew I was going to Western Michigan, but yeah, I was definitely there. But anyways, I lost my train of thought. I don't even know what I started on, but I definitely was there watching you guys play your freshman year when I was in junior B.
But it was, like Jeff was like, when I see the game and you asked me how it's changed.
Now I remember. It's all you guys were on Ferris and you all had the careers you did. Like Nesbitt, you just got 1,000 games. We're gonna retire at jersey number 11.5 in Sheffield, right? And then Kunitz obviously had a decent career. He did all right. And then Collins, though, like he was called the magician or the wizard in Germany, right? And he was like a legend in Dusseldorf. Like the careers you guys had for guys that were passed over by basically every other school, the same as me, like all of us small town Ontario guys were all passed over by every other school. And those were the schools that took guys like us, Western Michigan and Ferris.
Yeah. I think you put us 10 years after, maybe not even 10 years. And we're all signing contracts.
Yeah. But I think you also don't get to stay at home and play for Cornwall, and you're not playing for, we'd have to go to BC or we'd have to go to the USHL or we'd have to go somewhere else before college.
But I know what you're saying, but you're saying the way the game changed, the numbers we had then, and that's what I get a lot of guys tell me now. They're like, if you had those numbers now, like you'd be playing in the NHL next week after your season was like that. And that's not, this is guys just saying this just out of whim, right? It's like, probably not, but that's what they look at numbers wise, maybe not the person at 6'4", 210 doing that, and that can fly around, that's doing that making the jump to NHL. But it's weird. It's like I was talking about his ability, like being ahead of his time, like to come up now through the game where it is just, dude, there's some nights like you don't, like it's a shinny game out there. Like it's a fast, hard, shinny game where it's it's intense, but it's like skill really takes over now. And if you can think and skate and make plays when you're moving, like those guys really thrive now. And like you could do it then, but you would do it now just as well or better. It'd be unbelievable to watch. So it's interesting
why do you think it is that like there's just not many people running into each other anymore? Is it like people don't want to, or is it like they actually can't get in someone's way? Because like literally your kids play youth, right? Yeah. There's no hitting here.
Well, exactly. And it's being taught. There's so much individualized training now that when you're doing all the one-on, and I work in youth hockey, so when you're doing all the one-on-one drills or one-on-0 drills by yourself, it's like the thought process of contact and protecting the puck. That's why guys are getting hurt too, is because you're not bracing yourself. You're not prepared when you get hit. And it's all, everything is just go as fast as I can, stick handle. It's all this skill stuff that's just, it's all you hear now. Skill. Oh, he's really skilled. It's like, okay, I know everyone's skilled now. What else can he do? Like what? Like, don't tell me he's always really skilled. I'm like,
the intangibles,
that's a given now. Yeah. Like what? Like where?
Well, when I first moved, touch on Nezzy's little thing there. When I moved home, I started coaching.
Yeah,
I was coaching kids from 13 to 17, like depending what year. Like I did the Bantams my last 2 years, which they would have been 14, 15. There's guys that are unbelievably skilled. You put them in a contact game and they're lost. They're like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like they're trying, and some of them are getting brocked, and I'm trying to tell them, hey, bud, I love your hands. I love your moves. But there's a lot of ways out there to chip pucks to that area, protect yourself, and get going again. They were never taught that. They were taught to hold on to the puck, toe drag a guy, or put it through his skates. And
there's not a lot of like just pure chemistry made anymore because of that, right? Like
or give and go. Someone else. Like, the give and go. Like, well,
yeah. What's
give and go? What's a give and go? Like, really? Like you're 15 years old, you don't know what a give and go is?
It's like, I remember my first game of full contact, right? You play, what was it? Major Adam, and then minor Pee Wee was going to be hitting. Yeah. And my Major Adam season ends for the like AAA or whatever. It ends. And then you get into spring. Well, the spring rules were like your minor Pee Wee. So I play like one of those North York Canadians, like one of the downtown Toronto teams. We play an exhibition game with our spring team, and I pick up a puck like it's still Major Adam, and I turn up the ice. And this guy that was twice the size of me from Toronto, like literally, like I was very concussed, and I realized that I was in contact for the rest of my life, right? Like until you get hit, you can't learn, right? Like, and now Canada's saying what, they don't even body contact until like they're like 20 years old.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't even know what age it is now, but it's old.
14 years old, man.
Yeah.
13, 14. Like there's kids that come to our team to the academy that hadn't played body contact, and then they're in the body contact, and you got guys that like are from like Canada, and it's crazy.
Yeah. So do you think that's the biggest thing that's changed in the game, Nezzy? You're the one still in it.
Yeah, minus the personalities it's a little different because it is the day-to-day of just getting to know guys is a little tougher now because of
the phones.
The
phones are huge. Right. The phones, everybody's looking at them. You go for lunch, everybody's looking at them, right? Like you're not talking.
And I'm as guilty as anyone, but it is so natural. But
are you allowed them in the room?
Yeah, you can't say no.
Really?
You can't really? They can have phones in the room?
It's hard. You can, but at the same time, it's like
you could have your phone in the room, but
No,
I was playing music, then that's it.
Yeah. Nobody was looking at their phone. You had to leave the room if you needed to check in case, like, say something's going on with your wife or your kid or whatever. You'd have to leave the room, but you're not opening it up. You're in the zone when you're in the room, right? You're getting ready for the job.
Yeah. Right. So we were talking about this the other day too, because that's how it kind of was. But if we did that now with and it's the natural whatever, there'd be no one in the room.
They'd all be out on their phone.
Yeah. You know what
I mean? So you're saying
like
you're in the locker room and they're looking at their phones?
But even if it's just like real quick, like some whatever, like, and it's down. I'd rather that than leave the room for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Because you still interact. There's no one would be just sitting there on it. But
jeez, I don't know, man. I would have a hard.
And I'm okay with it.
That's probably how they look at their stats now, and how the game plan is. Okay, I sent it to you by email. There, everybody pulls up there. Whereas before they put the paper on the wall, and
it is. You get all the Instat. They send all your minutes played and all your stats come on within 24 hours of the game. So everything's on there. It gets emailed to you. So it's all the analytics and shit. So it's not. I'd rather just let it happen than try to enforce it and make it uneasy and awkward, because guys, it's too natural now. I'm just, like, I hate saying it, but it's really too natural. I'd rather just guys, if they have to real quick, like if it's habit, then at least their mind's more at ease. I know it sounds ridiculous.
So you're saying this is a practice, and then so say the day of a game, and you're what 30 minutes out from warm-ups. They still have their phone there.
I don't know. Maybe if it's even in like their toiletry bag or something, but like it'd probably in their stall. Like it's not in the dry stall area.
It's not out in their clothes. Like leave it in the pocket. I'm going into the room.
No, now. I really doubt it. No, I don't think so. I don't notice it. I don't find it. I've never found it, especially this. I don't think there's no distraction.
How many times does the phone go off during the game?
Yeah, no one, never. I've never heard it. I've never heard a phone go off.
That's all right.
The only way is if it's one of the guys playing music and it goes off, then, but whatever, like that is what it is. Then you just go airplane mode and they know enough. Oh shit, I'll change it. But it's not a distraction. So I'm okay with it because, I mean, first of all, we're doing well and whatever. It's nothing to.
Are you guys doing well? I was going to ask, how's your team doing?
We're 3 points out of first to Florida, and we got them 2 games this week. So this is a big weekend. Yeah. So there's 3 points separating the first, second, and third teams in our division right now. So we're rolling.
How's Lordo and Greenville doing?
Lordo.
We played them recently, and
sounds like they're not doing well by your answer.
Well, we beat them 3 in a row. Yeah, we took it to them. We beat them 3 in a row recently.
Oh dear, I'd be so upset
with our coach on the COVID list. So I was legit Reg Dunlop that night.
You were Reg? No way.
Yeah.
You beat Lordo at his own game, eh?
Right. Well, no. We've played them enough. Like it's not.
No, like I'm saying he was Reg Dunlop for me. He was my player coach. He was.
That's right.
He's the only player coach I ever played for, and I tell you, he did an incredible job. But
for sure,
watching him in practice, man, zip up the ice and like pass it out wide, and then he'd want the next slide to go. It'd be like a 3-on-2 drill. He'd pass it out wide, then blow the whistle, and then go to the net. Like it was nuts, man, how he could do it.
Oh, jeez, that's unreal.
So you played against him as a player coach, eh? How'd that go?
We 2 of our guys who were injured actually like stood behind the bench and helped with just calling out lines, because it is tough when you're playing to do all that. But we all kind of, it was by committee between me and the other captains, and then the couple guys standing on the bench. It was good, man. It was a good team builder, really.
That'd be a
to
good
be honest.
team bonder for sure.
It was cool. It was cool just to kind of run the meetings or like intermission, just to talk to the guys, and
it could go one way or the other, right?
Yeah, and it was huge. Like we've been on since then we've been on a 7-1, 8-1 streak since then. So it's been It's been wild, man. Yeah.
That's good. Okay, Legue, before you get another drink, I got to get you involved here. Okay. We got to get the Sheffield crowd. They're like, they don't really care about the Bulldogs of Ferris State, We're going to ask you some Sheffield questions. Okay. What's the best restaurant in Sheffield? Your favorite one to go to?
Like restaurant or?
Well, no, place to, let's say, establishment that maybe sells alcohol and food, or just alcohol, whatever you want.
Well, we always went, we had a place that was like our little hideout. Breakfast, lunch. It was only open from like 6 till 1. So 6 a.m. or 5 till 1. It was Ron's Cafe. And if you talk to any of the boys, like we were after practice, 9 till 10 or whatever, 9 till 10:15, breakfast at Ron's, and then home. Then home or whatever we were doing, right? Mm-hmm. And this guy, he was a huge sponsor of our team. Every game, freaking subs on the bus for our away games, he would make them, and it was just a family-run business. Him and his wife, Margaret, and they took care of us. Like, I remember going in there and like he's like, yeah, 2 pounds. I'm like, Ron, I just had a full breakfast, full English with a side of poutine, and the guy would make us poutine. So he'd fry up some fries for us at 8 in the morning.
You're eating that for breakfast, eh?
Oh, hey, come on. I burn a lot of calories when I was playing.
Yeah, you worked hard to practice. I get it.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I was eating a kebab or doner, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly. So that was my place to go all the time. As far as like restaurants, I mean, we never really stuck to one place. It was more of whatever had
whatever
best,
you're feeling.
Whatever had the best deal in the drinks that night, there would be this place is a Chance was a good place to go. Ecosol Road, big sports bar.
I went out one night in Sheffield with the Beatingheim Steelers, but that was like 2008-ish, and I don't remember where we were. I remember what they looked like on the inside, but I don't know what they were called. Fun time, though.
2008, you would have probably went downtown to West Street or Division.
And then there was a bigger place. There was one with it was almost like kind of like a warehouse type, right? It was a bit of a hike from the main drag, I think.
That would have been
a walk. I meant by hike.
I can't think of the name of it right now, but it was above the mall. Yeah, that was the club.
Yeah, that was where the boys started hitting the dance floor. I remember that.
Yeah. We'd always go to pubs, and then if you got your tune on, then you went to the club.
Well, you should see the German clubs. If you ever went with the young guys on a German team to a place, have you done that?
So my place was here. I lived above a Toyota dealership, which is our main sponsor. So we had the flat above the dealership. It was massive. There was like 5 rooms in it. There was me, Poofall, Rob Brown. So there was 3 of us in, and there were 5 rooms. You walked out of our place, you go down the street, there's the shopping center, you crossed a little field, and the disco was there. That's what it was called, the disco.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
I only experienced it like a couple times when I was in Germany, because that is not my scene, man. You go in there is lights flashing everywhere, and the music is just pounding.
Well, you can't talk to anybody.
Nobody. No. You can't talk to anybody until you get outside
because it's so loud. They used to service these Jägermeister Red Bull. So you would walk in, €5. You paid was it €5 or €10? You paid 10 your first one. It was a 5 for a refill, and you got to keep the glass. This is not the glass, but it was like that. Well, you have 3 of those. The next spot is like the speaker with your jersey off, and next week you go back and they had a big screen, and you would see yourself. They take pictures everywhere, and then you're like, oh my god, geez, It's like 4 guys on the speaker with no jersey on.
Yeah, it can get. I've seen it only a couple times, but like those young Germans, when they get into those.
That's the worst part. I think they were allowed to go in there. What was the rule?
18 years old, isn't it, or 16?
Yeah, but 16 they can go till 12 o'clock, and then after 12 they have to be 18.
Yeah,
it was something crazy.
It was a mess.
We never showed up till but it's open till 4.
Like 8, yeah, at least, yeah. Yeah. And the music is just pounding. It's the exact opposite of what I like doing. I like sitting down, chatting. Like,
well, the only time we went there.
Apparently.
The only time you went there is if you we had a place called Cheers in Landsberg, and it was like a little spot, and
it was called downtown. Cheers, like the show.
Yeah, really? Everybody knows your name.
Yeah,
yeah. They would. And the guy was a huge sponsor, and it was awesome. I would go back there in a second. There's still guys that I played against, playing, not playing there, but they're playing in Germany. And
did you not say you won it in Landsberg in your episode? Did you win it there? No, somebody else won it there. No, you were in the second league. This was when they won the third league to get up there. Never mind.
Yeah, it might have been the year.
Yeah,
because when I signed there, they had just come up from the third league.
I got a question for you guys. Do you remember the night? This would have been the year, I think Kunitz was on your line. When our goalie scored on you and you guys were ranked like top 10 in the country, and then Mike Mantua scored on you, and it was just mayhem.
Asking me this, and I don't.
I do.
Nezzy would remember that stuff.
I had a weird mind for that. I remember that night.
More of a week-to-week guy.
It's one of my best nights of college ever. That's why I remember it. It's one of those nights that like it. I know it didn't happen for you, Legue, so you're not going to remember this, but like it started one of the best nights I've ever had in college.
So I don't know. I know the same night this kid he stopped Mike Kinney on a penalty shot. Why I remember this, I don't know. And he stopped Cooney on a breakaway.
Yep.
From on a penalty kill breakaway from like our blue line all the way down. Like this kid wasn't there's no way he wasn't going to score that night. It was insane. Yeah.
And that goalie, he played, that would have been like the game of his life. And it was, and then it was 3-1. You guys dump it in our hand, and he grabbed it. And I remember when he shot it in, and I watched it from the bench. And then you see the loss of Lunatics on the other side, man. Oh. And then the hockey house had a party with the other house beside it. And then it's just, and you guys were ranked high, right? So then it's a big deal because you were the big rivals. Yeah.
We would have been number 1 in the league too. Yeah. It was all I remember, just seeing that he gloves it. I think it was Milam came in and ripped one in on a dump in, and it might've been delay. And I think I was either getting ready to go because I was at the door, and I just remember doing this. Watching the puck. Like, holy shit. That's over. Everyone it did. Like it must have landed it. It must have landed.
It was the perfect shot, man. It was like it was perfect. It was crazy.
And then he celebrated like he won 6 Stanley Cups in one night. Like it was.
Yeah. Yes.
I remember him going crazy in the. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That was not.
Hell of a story.
That's got to be on video somewhere.
Oh yeah,
I've been scored on twice by goalies in my career, so they both.
Well, if you keep playing, my goodness, it's going to happen eventually, right? Yeah.
Well, the other one is Nedeljkovic.
I don't know who that is. Do I know who that is?
Plays in Detroit. He plays for Detroit now, maybe.
Yeah.
I think he's scored in the Coast and he's scored in the American League, so he needs to score in the NHL.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's wild.
So he can play the puck then, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's like that'll be the next thing. Goalies that just play the puck like these kids can play with the puck, right? They'll be picking it up and zinging it down the ice or something like some weird stuff.
I got a weird memory for all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. How about this question then? Do you have any memorable Halloween parties at Ferris? Legue, I'll ask you first. Do you have any Halloween parties that stick out?
Tinkerbell.
Even if it's not at Ferris, maybe at Sheffield. I don't know. I'm going pee while you talk about it though.
Didn't Brownie's wife now, Jess, didn't she straighten your hair for that?
Yeah, that's right.
That was unbelievable. That was dynamite.
Tinkerbell.
We always had good Halloween parties though.
Yeah.
But nothing I don't know.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah. Sophomore year, when Cooney dressed up as a cop and he showed up at our house at 5:02, and everyone freaked out. They thought it was the actual cops coming over. Remember that? So Cooney. Okay. I remember because it was my house, because we always had all the people over that year, and we ruined that place. So
ruined. I don't even know if ruin's the word.
It was ruined before we got there. You bailed out of that when you're like, I can't live here. You made the smart move.
There's a lot less pressure on me peeing mid-pod when there's two of you. Yeah. That's for sure.
So this is a good one, and just because they kind of knows Kunitz, but sophomore year, once again, party at our house.
So this would be his senior year.
Yeah.
Everyone's there, and it wasn't just the hockey guys. It was always a shit show at our place. It was anybody and anyone that would show up with this. And all of a sudden there's a knock at the door, a loud knock. And someone goes to the door, and everyone starts freaking out, running out the back door. Cause they're like, cops are here. Well, Cooney dressed up like a cop. I swear he got it from Kevin Courtney too.
Yeah. I think that's exactly where you got it from.
So the head of our booster,
Yorkie had a spare in the back of the car.
Yeah. But I think he did. I think Kevin Courtney helped him out. The head of our booster club was the director of public safety in Big Rapids. So he got Cooney this cop outfit. I think I don't know. I feel like he helped him out. That could be a shot in the dark, and maybe just it seems like
it's all hearsay in the shed. You can say whatever you want,
man.
Just go with it. Say it with confidence, like it happened.
It was regardless, man. He scared the daylights out of every underager in that party that thought they were getting locked up, because he went strolling in there like he owned it was so.
So Kunitz went in there like he was a cop and started was he writing tickets, or was he just
didn't say a word? It just, you should see the mayhem, everyone trying to get out of there, thinking this cop was coming in there to bust the party up. I do remember that. Other than that, I think we just had good Halloween parties. I don't remember.
That's
I don't know. Dude, that's everything that year in that house, man. The old suit
off the wall, off the ceiling.
But the suit that John DeCaro had on in that party, that old 70s suit, I think he kept it and would wear it to game. It couldn't have fit a better guy. It was, yeah. And this is no one you'd know, but we just have me and him get a laugh out of it. But holy shit, was that funny. But I remember
so this is a guy that, just so the fans understand, is some guy that wears a funny suit to a Halloween party, so then he starts wearing it to all the games.
He played in Sheffield.
Who?
Oh, he did. John DeCaro. Yeah, he did play over there. So he was one of our goalies. And if you had to know him to just this suit, which he was thought was a Halloween costume. We were like, you look great in this, man. It just suited him so well. He was a funny dude, a great dude. But it was priceless. I don't know if he had he did something with his hair that made it suit so well, but I remember it was I don't know if it had bell bottoms on it, but it was the wide leg boot cut. It was classic. But I'm sure, yeah, he wore it again for sure, other than Halloween, I think. 100%.
Okay. So other than Halloween parties, I find it interesting.
Sheffield, we always had our mandatory one that a bar would close down its whole operation from I think we'd book it from 8 o'clock till whatever.
Yeah.
Whenever the lifers are rolled out.
Yeah.
Till 8 o'clock.
They literally, it was a sports pub, and they would put the curtains up.
So nobody can see inside.
Nobody can see in. And
I think Tomo just told that story, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
it was awesome. They had drums. They had a whole setup, like for a stage. You would go up and you'd play the drum. Like we had like NSYNC going. Like everybody, we got a singer, we got a guy. Oh, and the costumes, man. You can't even. That's the reason why we closed the windows. Like we had guys wearing the mankini thing. Like we had like.
Oh, geez. The Borat.
Kim Kardashian came 3-4 times.
I really think that Halloween parties in hockey are the ones that get the most carried away.
Oh,
well, you know what's funny? Of all the years I played, this is the one year we didn't have a Halloween party.
Oh, yuck.
But the biggest reason, and I didn't blame the guy.
I blame it on the senior guy.
Am I supposed to be able to see what's going on with your hand right now? Put your hand up. Do you have bandages all over your hand? Did I just see bandages on your hand?
Me?
No. Oh, no, sorry. It's just the light. I thought you were all.
No.
He's more of a lover.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah. The only reason was because the Braves were at home in the World Series. And a lot of guys wanted to go. Some of them dressed up and went to the Braves game. So all the guys went out to the Battery, it's called, where their sim is. There's restaurants, bars, and all around it. So a lot of the guys, they were like, how often are we going to be in the city where the World Series is being hosted? You know, pro hockey, right? Like it has to be the perfect time of year. You have to be home and off that day. I was like, fucking go. You know, like I don't think the city had a Halloween party this year because the Braves played on Halloween in the World Series, and it had been a while. So circumstance. So I didn't blame. I was like,
that makes sense. Everybody would have been into that. But did you guys get the team together for that?
I didn't. I was staying home. I had to take the little guy out for Halloween.
Yeah, you're living a different life. But isn't it interesting? I remember when we said what time we were going to do this, where you guys would come to the shed, and we were talking about how 8:30 is late, and you were like 8:30 is not late in pro. Oh God. No. Hey, I gotta say this because I always forget when I get into the conversation is the Matt Sundin jersey behind me is signed by him, and that's up for raffle to help support Sick Kids Toronto. It's at my website, aileshockeytales.com. And apparently one of my volunteers and the other guy that made the logo, now we have clothes for sale and like stuff for sale on my website. So you can buy raffle tickets for that jersey. And also we're making a 2 Ales hockey jersey that's going to end Saturday. And then we got clothes people can buy in the UK mainly, not around you guys.
Nice.
But yeah, it's kind of cool, you know, and thank you to Greg Hotham for sending me this jersey so we can make money for Sick Kids Toronto. Cause I think it's pretty cool that us drinking beers tonight can help support that, you know?
Yeah, no, very good.
I always knew it could be important to drink beers with my friends in my shed, you know, just had to work at it. Just had to do it a lot.
Oh yeah.
Hope you got a heater in there.
I got 2. Yeah, it's freezing out. Yeah, my toes are frozen right now. Okay, what was the best power play you guys ever played on? And you can't say with each other.
Well, that's tough. I mean, our sophomore year was unreal.
I said you can't say with each other.
All right, you go ahead then. Because we never got to play with each other.
I'll go first while you guys talk, okay? Okay. Sorry, think. Mine was with Justin Kelly, myself, Doug Andrus, who played at Ohio State. He was up top, and then we had Andreas Geipel. I think he was about episode 103 or 4 from Germany. He would be the lefty taking the one-timer clap bombs on the other side. And then we had the best net front guy you've ever seen, could tip any puck, a German guy, Alexander Serkov. And that was my best power play.
Sure,
but it was Justin Kelly and myself running an overload on one side with Doug Andrus as a righty, walking the line, taking wristers or slap shots. But we could all pass it over to Geipe as the lefty on the other side for a clap bomb. So what about you guys? I'll go with Legue. Yours is going to be a Sheffield one. So go ahead. Who is it?
Well, me up top with Rod Sarich, 2 lefties. And then we had Talbot in front, banging home garbage.
Isn't he little?
What would he consider little?
I don't know. Like us? Like you?
He's same size, same guy. He might have been.
That's your nut front guy?
5'10".
That's your nut front guy?
Man, this guy had. He got his stick off out of the wrapper. Went like this, down the thing, ripped the tape, went like this, and that was it. Like he didn't cut a stick. It didn't matter if it came here or if it came here. Or
it didn't matter how long the stick was?
No. It was crazy, man.
What?
Yeah. And then he could rotate off because he was a righty, so he would, they would switch. Doug Shepard. And who was the other one? We had a mix. Jono was in front for a bit too, but we scored all the time.
This is circa about 2008-ish, eh?
Yeah, probably.
Because Talbot was there, I think, when I came from Bietigheim to play that year.
Yeah, but he played 4 years, so it might have been our second or third year where we had it was pretty legit.
So you're up top with a lefty, year. And then you're up top of what, an umbrella?
Yeah, but what we would do is we'd start off in a, I don't know, like a box in one type thing, and then we'd roll into umbrella. So then Rod would be at the top, I would be on the top of the circle. And
so you're on your one-timer side, and then what, Talbot's on his right-hand side?
Talbot's on his right, yeah.
So then you still have 2 guys down by the net yet.
Yeah, which was more or less traffic.
Right. And that, I got you.
Yeah, just dish, boom, dish, boom. Yeah.
Yeah, you just had to get it to that point. I remember. And then those 2 guys go and get the puck and then pass it back up, and then you do it again.
And then we do it again. Yeah.
Okay. Nezzy?
Broke a lot of sticks.
I know what you mean. I took a lot of clap bumps too. I'd never take any in practice in my last few years because that's shoulders and everything. I'd taken too many at Western Michigan in practice.
Yeah, my 100 flex, I couldn't flex it that much anymore.
The snapshots are way easier. Way easier.
I know. In beer leagues, I use like a 70 or what is it, an 80 flex. Man, I got a rocket.
I haven't skated once other than coaching. I don't want to skate at all. Okay, Nezzy, your turn. I know you've played over 1,000 games, and there's been a lot of power plays, and you're going to offend every other power play guy you've been on with right now. But
I know we had some good. I've had some good ones. My rookie year was nasty.
This is in Gwinnett, which is now the Atlanta Gladiators.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's just because I scored a ton on it because I was just the backdoor guy that just sat there and got the tap pucks in.
That can make you feel good, though. If the rest of the guys do that for you, that makes you feel good. So it's like the shed when I have all these guests on, and it makes me look good because all these guys will come on. Right. It's just like that. You just tap them in.
So we had that one, which was Milam. Troy was up top. I was on the back door. Soupy.
He had that little guy, Campbell.
Yeah, Jeff Campbell. Soupy ran the
Western Michigan Bronco, folks.
Yeah, him and Brad Shell kind of ran the half wall in the corner, and then Guillaume Debian, rookie, power forward, would kind of be the bumper in the would jump from slot to net front. And
I didn't know. I forgot Guillaume played with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. Let me picture this here. So did you say Soupy's running a half wall?
Yeah.
He's
him and Brad Shell. Soupy was more the goal line guy in tight. He would be dishing to me cross crease back door a lot.
Right. Brad Shell was the other one. He's had a lot of points.
Yeah, he'd be half
there.
wall, and they would they would run it on that side, and I was literally just backdoor. I think I tucked 14 from there that year on the back door on the power play alone.
But you're a lefty, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you're going down deep, just tapping them. Like you're not even one timing them. You're just like pushing them in.
Yeah, like on forehand one time. Yeah. But Milan was so good up top when he'd shoot as the righty, like I would angle like both my skate blades and my stick, and I was like, just hit me and go in. Like it was great. But that one, or we had one in Peoria. Well, we had a couple in Peoria with Hensick running the half wall.
Oh, he's good. Gosh darn, I watching him at Michigan. That watching power plays can turn my crank, and that Hensick watching him at Michigan, it got me going.
Yeah, so me and TJ, he was my centerman for 3 years there in Peoria. Which is a big reason I never did go to Europe that early. I was going to just stay and let him try to help me make money. But I was always the middle guy on one. We always ran a 1-3-1, and I was always the middle guy. As
You're just shooting,
righty. Yeah, shooting and bumping. Yeah, that's
so. I had one of those seasons. The year I left Bietigheim after I was there, and I'm running the half wall or I'm the goal line guy. Me and Justin would always rotate, or whoever I was with. That's kind of what I would do. And then their biggest rivals. I've been doing it for years. Been doing it 4 or 5 years. Then I go over to Hellbrod, and they're like, "You're a shooter. That's what you do." And they just put me there, and I just stood there and waited to shoot. And I hated it so much. It drove me insane. I literally would just turn around watching everybody passing it around. And I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't get used to it that year. It was tough.
It was weird. It was weird at the start because I had always been used to handling it. And once I realized, it was like,
you just shoot it, or bump it or shoot it, right? You bump it out.
Shooting it. These guys all handle it better than me. Like Jeff handled it better than me.
You're always good at receiving and just getting it off too.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of a shooter, like 100% more of a shooter than handling it and whatever. I get it, no handle, shot, whatever. I could always.
And I have to handle it a whole bunch, or I can't shoot it.
You still use that banana thing like that?
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty wicked. Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's one thing we got to talk about. Some tongues out. Your old skates. That picture you sent me. Oh, my God, those tongues were foam, like, or cotton. They had to have been 3 inches of cotton there on those tongues, and they're sticking out at least 8 inches.
Him and Simon Mango's like two sheep at least to make their tongue. Like Simon Mango's, his tongues would touch the end, and his too, but he would trim them.
Yeah,
to the point where it wouldn't touch. Yeah, like when you get your brand new skates, when you wheel in the first day, these guys would start flexing their tongues there right away.
I'm taping them down. Like, I usually tape them down. Really
so how do you get into that? Why are you doing that? Why are you taping down your tongues? I don't get it. I always put them under my shin pad. It made me feel secure and safe.
So my skates that came my junior year, the tongues came longer. Like for whatever reason, I had those old 652s my sophomore year. When they brought them back for a year, they brought them back finally, the ones that Chelios and Medano wore. They brought those back for a year, and I went back to them. I was like, hell yeah, these are the best skates I've ever worn. I'm going to get them. And Benny, he got me like 3 pair because they were like $99. It was unreal. They cost as much as what your guys like 1 pairs cost. So I was ripping through those, and the next year they took them off the market, and basically Medano and Chelios just took them all, and no one could ever again. So I got the Pro-Tex the next year, I remember, and the tongues came longer, and they didn't feel good in my shin pads. I remember that. I'm like, well, I'm going to try them out.
So you were putting them in your shin pad until then?
I always had junior year was the first year I ever wore them out. By junior year of college, the first year I ever wore them out.
See, that's when I switched to the fishbowl. I went from the cage to the fishbowl. Can you see those, folks? Can you see what Legue's showing us? That's only on YouTube. That's you. Oh, what are you doing? You're tucking in.
Yeah, you wore them out.
I got a tongue out.
You're tongue out.
With the East,
that's a little baby tongue out. You're a tongue out guy?
Yeah.
No, I didn't think I was, but I guess I did.
Honestly, this guy, he would have tried something new every day. I mean, like, whatever, I'll just still be really good.
That was just like the game. Yeah, I was trying to look cool.
This game's
that's
too easy.
One thing,
I'm just gonna
I would try
new.
a whole bunch of different stuff, but I would never try tongues out. I don't think I ever even tried it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not a tongues out guy anymore.
But I have been ever since then.
Since junior year, eh?
Yeah. And I always, starting that next year, I ordered them because I wanted them longer after that because I liked it. Because once they didn't fit in my shin pads, I remember going to Mooms and I'm like, hey, like, I need a shorter. I had to go to
I'm assuming Mooms is the equipment manager?
Equipment guy, yeah, Benny, yeah. So I had to.
Mooms, what's his name? What's Mooms? What?
Ben Muma.
Muma is his last name.
Mooms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, dude. Just curious.
No, so I had to go to 14-inch shin pads, and I've worn 14 inches ever since. I actually still have the same Jofa shin pads from my senior year. I have the same Jofa shin pads. They've had different padding put in them. They got stitches all over them, but I have the same shin pads from that year, and I will not switch them out until I'm done playing this.
I have the same shoulder pads from sophomore.
Do you? Yeah. It's crazy, man. I got
a new pair of shoulder pads.
They don't make them like they used to, that's for sure.
No.
I've cut my caps off them. But,
so you're still playing, Legue? You're still out skating? You're still doing it?
Yeah. I can just throwing sauce everywhere.
He could play in our league tomorrow if he wanted. I guarantee it.
I'm sure
I get
he'd
asked
be fine.
to play in that senior league every friggin' day.
I bet you do. Yeah.
I'm sure you would be just fine.
Yes.
Okay, I got a question for both of
you. Just like he was. But it's just like after a night out at Shooters on a Thursday in preseason, you were always the first or second guy around the track in the morning.
Yep.
Every time.
I could run.
No.
You could go out all night and beat everybody at running?
You couldn't beat Deeks, but you could beat everyone else.
I couldn't beat Deeks. I'd give her a go, though.
Yeah.
I got it. So then your power play at Ferris then, which I guess you guys probably would have said was your best one ever, right? So is that, I'm trying to picture it. So is it with Collins and Kunitz that year, or is it your senior year?
Well,
or no, sorry, your sophomore year. Your sophomore year. Who are the other people on that? So I can try and dissect it before we discuss. Is it Kunitz, you two, and who else?
Milam.
Milam's still there? Is he still there?
You know what, man?
I thought Milam's done with Collins.
No, he's the same age as he was the same as class as Cooney. Okay. Troy Milam was same class as Cooney.
Oh yeah.
So we remember Mangos played in front a bit. Remember that?
In Mang, yeah.
So between Mangos, Rallo, and Deeks, they were kind of like rotated.
And who was
as
Deeks
those
again?
Derek McIver was a class ahead of us.
Okay.
Yeah, I was up top for a bit.
I think it was but it's you. You three are all lefties. So all three of you are lefties with
Milam's a righty.
And then Milam's up top as a righty. No, Milam playing the far side for one-timers, and you're just rotating who's standing in front of the net.
Yeah,
so then Kunitz and Nesbitt are running an overload with Legue up top.
But I swear, I think it alternated. I don't think it mattered which one of us was up
all
top.
All three of you were just spinning around.
Yeah, we didn't. Honestly,
do you remember that? Okay, this is now. It's okay. You help me out here. This is coming back to me now. That's what I remember. Bob did that. Where the three of us were all interchangeable. If whoever made it past the half wall, we would shoot all the way down to the goal line, and then the guy would roll up. If he didn't have Milam for
then you always have the right-hander there for the one-timer whenever it's available. But you guys are all moving to find different lanes. And then you got the guy standing in front who could have been a righty to pop out if it went down the goal line And all
three of those guys I said were all righties. Mangos, Rallo, and Deeks were all righties.
You
remember that though? We all kind of rotated, like we just ran a wheel there.
Yeah.
And we kind of just cycled it until we found something, and then.
Well, because if you're moving and then if you're changing from down low all the way to up top and all of you're moving, you're going to find different lanes.
I remember the 5-on-3.
Yeah.
We would
all three are lefties on the 5-on-3. What's going on there?
No, we was a righty.
Righty, three guys up top. So
you'd be in an umbrella.
Oh, you're in an umbrella with two guys down.
So you'd be in an umbrella, and the middle as you were up top. And I know I'm taking. I know what you were saying. The middle guy would slowly inch his way down towards the net until you were in a straight line with all three.
Oh, and then you pretend you're either gonna one time it or you let it go through your legs.
You let it go through your legs,
and then you fake it.
Cooney's back door or behind you, and you just sing in the net. Sing in the net.
Yeah.
I actually think Western Michigan started doing that after you guys.
or if they cheated on him. Then the guy in the middle just let
from like the hash marks. Yeah, it was wicked. Yeah.
Are there still plays like that going on out there?
I don't know. No, I don't see that one. I don't see that ever. But I mean, I don't hate it. Like it works if you can. I think it would depend on the kill now, but we
in Nottingham they had two guys up top on a 5-on-3, and then the guy at the front of the net.
That was it.
So like a reverse, like it's not even a reverse.
3.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd have two guys and then a guy kind of like going back and forth in front of the net.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, sorry, I'm just a power play guy, and I was trying to remember what your power play was because I remember I'm not sure how much I did kill at that point, but like I don't know if our X's and O's really understood what everything was going on.
Well, no, I'm glad you said that because that's what I've kind of thought and wondered. I was like, what did we do then?
I think we figured it out.
Well, we did.
I think we just rolled with it. And
probably.
That's what happened. Like you just played the game.
When you get 5 guys out there that can play, it can just happen. But you got to have guys that know where they're going and know where to release it and who's going to the net. You got to have a guy. My biggest thing on a power play, you got to have a guy in front of the net, or else the whole thing's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Unless you got a guy that can shoot anything.
Right.
We did. We could all. I mean, we didn't have a short of that. So.
Okay, next question, because this we haven't really nothing's really been that funny. I got to find some funnier questions. Maybe this is all too serious.
Trying to get personal.
Hey, sorry guys. I'll try and be funnier next time, folks. My bad. Most influential coach. Legue, you first.
Mine was my junior coach for sure.
Cornwall.
Yeah, he was actually he coached me in Bantam
and junior.
Well, so this is what happened. His son was the same age as me. He coached us in, I think it was major Pee Wee or minor Pee Wee, I forget. And then bought the Cornwall Colts and ended up coaching there for several years before I got there. But and then kind of, turned me into the player. Like I was always a decent player, but my mid from like say Pee Wee to Bantam, I put up points, but I was always small. I was like 5'2", 110 pounds. So I was always small, but then kind of paved me into,
I understand.
Yeah, like till I was like 17, and then I started to grow. Like he was like, but yeah, my junior career, he taught me the game, let me do what I want, but told me, defense, and but he let me do what I want pretty much, but within reason.
But he also guided you on how to be a team guy and like what was right, what was wrong, and
he made me captain, and he's seen what I like. I was never ever a guy to speak like during practice, during a game. I always went out and just I worked hard. That was a nice thing. I worked hard. I was skilled enough where I could, when I worked hard, everything worked out for me. So that's what I did. And he told me, he goes, you keep doing what you're doing. Exactly when you go to university, he goes, you'll have a good career. And then like 20 years later, like I see him all the time now, and we talk, and he goes, I think you should have stayed over here a little longer there. He goes, I know you had a great career in Europe. He goes, you should have stayed here longer. I was like, well, hindsight, yeah, maybe, but
yeah, people say stuff like that, but they don't realize what it was like. They don't realize what pro was like. When I broke in and I saw what the AHL was like, I was like, this is so not the hockey I've ever played in my life, man. There were line brawls of just absolute monsters like every night. And I'm like, I don't fit here. Like, they're not putting me on the top two lines. And you're putting me out there with those guys. And I'm like, I don't want anything to do with this.
That's what I wasn't afraid of. I hated the bus trips. I couldn't stand being on a bus for 10 hours and then sleeping on it.
And then you wake up and play a game and then get right back on the bus, and then you show up in a new town.
And I'm like, oh my God. Like,
I think someone might know something about that. I don't know.
I just slept. We just left at midnight last night.
How's this guy still alive? Like, I was just
we left at midnight last night to come to Fort Myers, and I slept on the floor of a bus for 10 hours and woke up, had breakfast, had practice, and now I'm sitting here with you guys, ready to play 2 games tomorrow. Just inching towards your 40th birthday.
A lot of these, that's the only way I can get through it. So I probably wouldn't be here.
Oh, man. Well, you're still loving it though, eh, Nezzy, or what?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, big time.
I don't know how long you got left, but like I found near the end, when I knew it was near the end because my body was giving up on me, was like, well, and because like the contracts were going the way they were, right? And then you're doing the school, and like you got 2 kids, and you're like, okay, we're here. This is happening. It's over. But like I realized that like every day I went to the rink, like I couldn't wait to get there and see the boys and like chat. Yeah. Like it's just, when it's over, she's over.
That's it. That's something I miss, is just going to the rink and especially after like maybe a Monday night or something. You got Tuesday, you hear the stories and the laughter, and
you won like on a Friday, Sunday, and then everybody went out on a Sunday night, and then nobody's seen each other till Tuesday morning, and then everybody's just
the group chat's lighting up, and you're like, shit, I missed it. I was there.
It's
still fun. Yeah. No, it's still fun.
So are people still having fun in the coast? Like, do you guys get time are the boys to play? I guess with COVID and the whole thing, like
that's been different. That hinders it a little bit.
But there's not as many like team nights out, eh?
No, not as much. Honestly, our schedule doesn't help much either. I think guys are like, there's a large majority of players now way more conscious about like what's good for your body, what's not. Like they're a little more concerned about that.
A little more in tune than we were.
Yeah, and good for them. And good for them. But I mean, I was never threatened by a good time. Maybe too often, but I like to think it still happens. I'm not around them much. I don't live with the guys. I have my house away from them and wife and kids, so I'm not out. But it's the nights actually a couple nights ago we had it after a Sunday game, or we had a Monday, because Monday was a holiday, so we had a 12:30 game. So after that, I knew my wife was working, and I was like, hey, when my little guy gets up, I'm like, are you guys going for like some beers somewhere? I'm like, if it's somewhere to eat and have beers, I'm like, I'll get him up and I'll bring him with us. I don't care. And he just he runs around the tabletops and whatever. He doesn't give a shit. And he loved it. So he loved being around the boys. So I did get to do that Monday night. That was awesome.
That would be awesome. No, I remember that stuff.
Even for 2 hours, right? Like go have a couple and have some lunch.
And then the team goes out, the young guys go out and do their thing, but like whatever you got to have your time. Yeah. Like I remember those days. That was Cardiff.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Sure. Did I ask you your most influential coach? I didn't
we
get
went
there,
off
did I?
again.
Yeah, I got off the rails again. My bad.
No, well, I was thinking about it when you guys were talking. I was going to go different direction with it. So I had a lot of good coaches, obviously being a long time, like, and not to like, I mean, I had an unreal coach in junior, Kevin Hamlin. I had Jared Bednar for 2 years, who I had Bedsy as a head coach in Peoria, who was huge for me. Obviously helped kind of get me back in the American League and needed to be where I needed to be. And I could name a lot, but I'm going to talk about 2 assistant coaches I had. One in junior for all 3 years. Paul Burgess was his name. And then I'm going to say Newsy at Ferris, Derek Lalonde, who's now with Tampa and has won under John Cooper as an assistant for 2 years. He's won 2 cups there. Both of those guys, because I was a guy that needed for someone who really like cared about me as a person. I gave more to, and they were, Newsy's one of the best player coaches probably in the league of all time. Like Lalonde is, he to read people, to know how to talk to players, just know how to touch them in a way that like you would do anything for that guy. He was that guy who I needed at that time, was huge for me, just because I was not. And then this goes along with Paul Burgess, who as assistant coach for me, he ran the sports store right down the street from my billet home in Sarnia when I played there. I would go there, I would ride a bike up there or rollerblade or whatever and hang out at the sports store in Sarnia and just shoot the shit with him for hours on end. And like one of our captain actually worked in there too. And we'd go there and just bullshit for hours. They just hang out and they just be a little gearhead, right? And like look at all the sticks and we'd mess around in there. But I just knew they cared about me, whether I was a hockey player or not. And that did way more for me for a guy that really only knew hockey when I got to junior and in college. All I knew was like, and hindsight's easy because I know now, but I was only at both those places because I could really play. I didn't have a sniff when I got there, like socially what to do. I was very green when it came to that. I just knew I could play, and they knew how to get me through a lot of those days, where it was, whether it was help me fit in or whatever it was. But like Jeff as a teammate was huge with that. I looked up to him a lot because there's not more guys that like if there was ever a teammate I had who everyone was like, I want to be just like that guy's the coolest guy ever. Like Jeff's one of those guys that I've ever played with, where you knew that's what everyone wanted to be just like him.
Guys, I don't want to pump his tires too much because
no,
he's listening to us right now.
No, but I
gotta get out of this room.
Yeah, go take a walk. Go take a piss.
No, don't, because it's so true. There's nobody I've ever played with where I was just like, holy shit, like I just wanted to be just like that guy. I was like, that's one of the best friends I have. Like he was like, for one guy to never judge you, didn't care. He was gonna let anyone in, like whatever is him, and that was a big reason with those 2 assistant coaches. That's the way they were, and that's what I needed. Just like very just inexperienced socially, like trying hard to fit in. I just knew I could fucking play. Yeah. And that's why I was there. And like I said, hindsight's easy, but that was a big thing for me, was those 2 coaches.
Well, one thing that I find interesting is like watching my kid grow up in Kincardine, Ontario, in such a small town. And especially now with the bullshit going on, is like, they don't get out much. They're not seeing big cities. They're not seeing what's going on in the world, and like your own little bubble in these little 3 rinks. And like, there's the players around here, but like, you don't know what's out there. And then when you do get out there, you haven't met all these people with different backgrounds and different places that they've lived. And like, you don't get it, right? You're just, you're from Seaforth or Elmira, and you think like when you're from Elmira, you think, well, you drive out of town, it's all Mennonites. Like, oh, you're going to a whole different place, and you get to Western Michigan, and it's like a whole different world, and it's like, holy shit.
Well, right, and now there's some people there that come from where you come from, but there's also someone there who grew up downtown Chicago or Detroit or whatever, and they've seen a lot of shit,
right? And then the more people you meet, you're like, well, I'm starting to understand shit more.
Well, you're trying to, and you
try.
Learn, it's mistake after mistake, but it was, but that's why, just you try to gravitate towards some people that just accepted you, and Jeff was always that, and just that's why I've always considered him a good friend. But obviously, the hockey side apart, we could just play, and we always connected that way. But he was always a guy I'd want to hang out with or gravitate to, because first, it was always a hell of a time, but you knew there was no judging, and I needed that. And and again, going back to the coaching side of it, but there's players like that along the way too. And I think Troy Milan was always a good one. I think he was a huge leader for us, which was nice for me to have him as a first-year pro guy on my team when he was a third-year pro. So I got to go back to that, but those coaches were huge for that. And I think anyone that's ever played for them would probably say the same thing as well.
For you guys being as good as you were in college and me remembering you, and like that's how all this started, was like I don't know. I Nezzy, I wrote to you first. I don't know how I got your number. I don't know what happened, but and then I got Legue's number.
You were on Topher and Lovecchio's podcast, and I wrote to you on. I think I might have messaged you on Twitter saying I heard you on there, and
I don't know what happened, but you two were both memorable guys from like my university time. Like when I was playing against you guys, like I remember playing against you guys, and I was trying to be better than you guys. That's what I was trying to do.
Well, I still remember. Since you're talking about this, I'm gonna go back to me and Jeff's last time we ever stepped foot in the Lawson Ice Arena. We beat you guys 5-3, and I had 3-2, and Jeff had 2-3. That was our last regular season CCHA game, and we went out swinging.
And that's what's weird to me is like when you see players like you guys in college, and then you get to pro, and like things aren't working out for you individually, and you see other guys, and like, I look at what you guys are doing, or I look at what Rob Collins are doing, and it's like you look at the guys, and you're like, well, where how are they doing? And you kind of rate yourself, but like how they decide, like watching you guys in college, and then like your options out of university compared to say the guys that went to different schools or were ranked higher as a player when they're 17, 18 years old. And like, you play against these people and you're like, well, they were better than them. And I don't understand why they're playing there and they're playing there. It's just strange times sometimes.
Investment.
Yeah, well, it's because there's scouts that sit at 17, this is the guy. And then if he's not the guy, those guys end up losing their jobs 5-6 years later because different kids grow up stronger or better, right? And it's like, well, the kid that went through puberty first maybe ain't still the best.
Right. Yep.
But anyways, okay, I don't know what else I got for you guys. This was kind of a serious episode. You guys probably thought we were going to be all like giggling, eh? No. This is pretty serious, eh?
Me and Nezzy were kind of hoping we kept it PG.
Well, that's the problem. Like, you needed to have us on here about 15 years ago, and when we didn't have anyone to answer to back home.
Wow, that's the thing. Wow, you're an active player, but then you have on the active players, and you're like, well, I don't want you to say anything to jeopardize anything, right? So just
I don't care about that. I said
you're comfortable in your skin. I know you got nothing to worry about. Do you know what was big news today, though? Is I think I have a confirmed shed guy who is also a Bulldog, who could be my very first active NHL player in the shed?
Who?
He plays in not Minnesota now. He was in Minnesota, wasn't he?
Philadelphia.
Mayhew?
Yeah.
Mayhew.
He was a Ferris State Bulldog, and he was in a wedding party that my kids were the ring bearers and whatever.
No,
but yeah, so the cousin there said he's into it. So we're gonna reach out. Apparently they're playing Columbus right now, but I you know what? The Shed's just trying to get legit one trip at a time, but I actually don't care. I just know the guy. I
have a Bulldog on my team here in Atlanta right now.
Really? Who's that?
Zach Yoder.
And how many classes is he behind you?
Oh, geez. So here's a fun say. Okay. So you know,
did they have Conley, the internet when he went to school?
Yeah. So we're gonna age ourselves here. So Brendan Conley and Garrett Thompson, you know both those two players, right?
Well, Brendan's playing in Sheffield.
Yes. And you know Garrett Thompson? Do you know that his name? Yeah. So he played.
Do you have a roommate?
He played. What's that?
Do you have a roommate?
Yeah, I do. It's like.
Is he here? Come on over.
Yeah,
buddy.
there's door. Yeah, it's one of our goals.
I thought maybe you had like an ensuite or something for yourself or something.
It is.
I thought after 1,000 games you get like your own room, a little penthouse.
If we have an odd number, I do. Yeah. So Garrett Thompson and Conley they were both in Greenville last year to start with Lordo.
That's right. Yeah.
So Thompson had played over there, I think in Cardiff. I think that's why he was back. So me and Yoder were both signed in Atlanta. Yeah. So me and Yodes were both signed in Atlanta, and the now our team didn't play in the COVID year or whatever, but all four of us from Ferris, not one of us was in the same class. We all missed each other. That's how we're aging each other.
Like not in the same class. So you guys never went to school together, all four.
Never. Yeah, sorry. So we would have never met. So Conley came in after me. 4 years later or 5 years later, Thompson started. Then 4 years later, Yoder came in. And then out. Yeah. I was like, Jesus. Holy boys. A decade and a half later. Yeah.
Wow. You're the one. You are the one still doing it, right? You got a game tomorrow though, so I guess we got to shut her down soon, eh?
Okay. I'm
keep up with you guys punks.
I'll be all right.
Yeah.
I'll be all right.
Okay. Legue, you got anything?
You got a whole notepad there.
I don't have much else. You know what? There's not that much else here. You guys kind of cover it as we chat. This is I got my power play talk in. That's what I kind of wanted to get into. And then Halloween parties, So you guys never lived together in your 4 years?
Nope.
No. My roommate was Mike Brown. Your roommate was
Mike Brown's a goalie.
Yeah.
Oh, in the dorms.
Hold on. I got a question about him. Mike Brown, was he not the goalie that had some really big year and then was getting offered really big NHL contracts, then decided to go back to school and then not get paid? Is that him or no?
I don't want to speak for him, but
I don't know the whole situation, but he had an unbelievable freshman year.
Sophomore too. Yeah.
Sophomore too.
And I'm pretty sure it was after those 2 years, and then it was like, time to leave.
He got hurt. I think he got hurt his first year pro.
Yeah. That's the only year he played. Yeah.
He only played 1 year pro.
Yeah.
He was a name I remember from college from that.
I mean, he was our starter. He was our starter all 4 years because Phil O'Sare, because the senior goalie that was in Collins' class, he signed that summer.
Yeah.
Before his senior year. So we lost him. That's why DeCaro came in kind of late because we had both freshmen our freshman year. Yeah.
Yeah. We had 11.
We started with 11.
11 freshmen.
Got down.
That's a lot of freshmen.
Yeah, but in half a year, we were down to
to 8.
Where do they go?
8. Well, Fluche was I played with Fluche in junior. He was pure French.
Yep.
And he had me doing his papers.
Not going to work. Not going to work for 4 years.
Yeah. Well, this is what happened. He played Quebec Major Junior, had to sit out a year. So he's sitting out his first year no matter what.
Yeah.
Found out that he played 20 games or whatever it was. So then he had to sit out a year and 20 games. Well, we only play
35, yeah.
35. So he was like, I got to sit out 2 years? Yeah. Packed his bag, went home.
Yeah.
So that was one down within 2 weeks or 3 weeks? Maybe?
I still remember
early.
At Western Michigan, a class comes in, you get your 7 guys come in, and most classes, there's 1 or 2 that either I remember there was a set of parents that showed up and their kid wasn't playing enough. And they're complaining to all the other parents, can you believe our son isn't playing? Can you believe this? Can you believe that? And it's
yeah.
And it's well, do you think the other parents give a shit about your kid at college? And this is NCAA. And then I'm pretty sure they might have even said stuff to the coach. And it's well, your kid's an adult now. And if you say stuff, he's done.
Yeah. But we had. Well, remember Craig Piscopink?
Sorry, what was
the
that?
Other one.
Chris?
Yeah, you wouldn't have known him. He left that. He stayed. Remember, he lived with.
Yeah, he ended up staying, but he just did the school.
Yeah, he just did the school. He lived with Cooney, Milam, and Field at the Rapids Apartments. Remember, and our sophomore year, but he didn't go. He didn't play that year. DeCaro left after the sophomore year, and then Kinney left after junior year. Yeah,
that's right.
So we ended up losing 4 by the time, and then Shibes played a 5th.
That's right.
So he didn't really graduate with us. So that was kind of we only graduated with 6. Me, you, Yorkie, Carter, Skip, and Brownie. Yeah. That was our 6 we actually graduated with.
Yorkie, what's Yorkie's first name?
Matt.
Matt York, defenseman.
What number was he?
12.
You don't know.
4?
12.
Oh, why am I thinking 4? Okay, yeah. 12, sorry.
12.
You're right. Yeah.
I was 11. He was 12. Shibes was 2. Those were my roommates. And then.
Well, now you're 11.5 in Sheffield.
Yeah. Carter 21 was 17.
I'm really confused how Simsy, just so you know, buddy, I'm not sure how we're going to retire this jersey if you already got it retired. I'm just curious.
It's happening.
Hey, just have my name.
Do you imagine?
I've never been
the first hockey arena in the world. No, the first hockey arena in the world that has 2 11s beside each other. That's pretty interesting. That's a story.
I've
never been in England. I'll come over. I'll come for it.
Okay.
Well, you know what? I probably could show you a decent time.
I bet you he'd know a few places to go in the town. And from what I've heard in my shed over the last year is he has some friends over there that would do anything for him.
There you go.
I got
bring the wives.
My buddies here are like, okay, so 3 years we're going over. We're gonna play St. Andrews. We're gonna do this. And I was like, are you serious? I'm like, okay, let's start planning this. I'm like,
oh man,
first stop is Sheffield. Then
that would be quite the trip. Yeah,
I know. So there's probably about 10 guys that want to go for a little golfing tour. That as of right now, I bet you it'd probably be about 30 by the time we're done. 40 by the time we want to get
that would be quite the time.
We always talk about that too, and we
should. That's the thing.
You
get all your old buddies together and get the class and go.
Well, that's the thing is our Western Michigan, my class, I get my roommates together, the 4 of us, but other than that, it's very rare you get everybody together. And
the last guy I saw from my class, the last guy I saw Brownie in 2013, him and Jess.
That's the last person you saw in your class, and it's 2022. That's
because I saw him. I was in
2000.
What's that?
2007, 2008 is the last time I seen Nesbitt. Physically.
2008 at that wedding.
We type on the phone, but that's how it is.
But I saw Brownie and Jess. They came to. I played a preseason game in Calgary with Edmonton, so they came and I got a hold of them and they came for that, and I saw them after the game. That's the last time I saw them. Dude, I haven't seen Skipper Carter since Shives' wedding. No, they came to Shives' wedding.
The thing is it's all about where people are from, right? Most people end up kind of around where they're from.
Well, I was in the wedding, but I was going to Germany. I signed my contract. Shives had his wedding August.
It was in August. You weren't there.
So I couldn't go. I'm like,
so you haven't seen him?
I'm like, no, I haven't been there. I haven't been back to Big Rapids since we graduated. Well, no, I came back for my first year pro. Yeah. I went back for a month.
That's exactly what I've done with Kalamazoo. Exactly.
Yeah.
Crazy. I went back and skated with the team on my way somewhere, and then that was it. That was the last time I ever got back to Kalamazoo. Yeah. It's crazy.
I got to go back. It's like I tell my wife, if I go rent an RV, we'll drive out. We'll do a whole. But then we were planning this 3 years ago, and then all of a sudden this stuff hits. And
I know
we haven't moved anywhere.
When you gotta go with people too, right? You gotta meet up, jeepers. That's what I love about what I'm doing right now. Seriously, I know you guys haven't seen each other in forever. I didn't really know what to write for the notes because I didn't really know when you guys saw each other last or what's happened. But
we're kind of hashing that out now. Buddy, could you imagine? All I want to do is sit, get shit faced with Skip and Carter, and let them play the guitar and make up songs. Crushed. I always laugh. Remember? So do you remember when we all went and saw? So okay. They would always make up lyrics to their own songs. And the funniest thing I always got a kick out of was Skip would always, and he was a real witty, sharp, quiet dude. And he'd get a few in him and it would be just comedy hour. And he would always drop F-bombs and random lyrics of songs. And then I remember it was senior year, we're watching the movie Old School at the theater. And that wedding singer in the movie Old School drops the F-bomb. I remember looking at Ed I'm like, that's you, man. I'm like, you used to do this. You do this all the time. I'm like, this guy's getting rich off this shit now. I was like, he would drop, he was a big Nickelback guy, and he would drop random swear words, and we thought it was the funniest shit. He was so just clever, and the timing of him, the dry comedy, to sit and have a few with those guys again. I would do anything to hear that right now.
And that's I was very lucky at Western Michigan that literally all my roommates were all from Ontario.
They're both from Saskatchewan. They're both Saskatoon.
Yeah. And it's not easy to see someone from Saskatchewan. It's really not.
Leaving. No,
not even Cornwall.
No.
They say who's coming this way and who's going that way.
Right. Well, but you guys really all ended up back home, and look, I'm way further away.
Wow.
Right. So
but you're near Atlantic
tough.
City. That could be okay.
It's tough, man. Come on south, man.
It is different though, eh? You're when you think of your kids growing up there, growing up in Atlanta is different than growing up in Seaforth, Ontario, or Kingston or Cornwall. Yeah. It's cold here, man. My door was frozen. My toes are frozen right now. I don't even know if these heaters are working, but I'm going pee again. You guys keep talking about whatever you want. This is your shed visit.
I'm going pee again. Oh man, what I'd give just a.
Well, and that's what the text was about. He goes, I just want to let you know that it's coming on 20 years of us being your freshmen, which is going to be September 3rd.
It was 2001.
Oh, 2001. That's it. Yeah.
So it was September.
Yeah.
Well, how wild
I thought I saved the text, but I didn't save it.
Yeah, I did. I said, it was 20 years. Yeah. And it was.
So, because we played 01-02, which.
Yeah. That's this year. That's this year, 20 years ago.
That's this year, 20 years ago.
Because I'm in the 21-22 season right now. I always think back, you hear all the guys that play the play calls now, they always talk about nights out at the bars, and I go back and think, I'm like, I remember. And
where did you guys get into? Oh boy,
we kind of started. I'm going to go off the rep. We kind of started a thing. When we started a thing like our junior senior year, but remember Mondays was always bowling. We had the best bowling team in the country.
That was sophomore year.
We did a little freshman year though, because I remember going from the dorms. I remember getting picked up at the dorms and go bowling.
Lippy,
because those guys. Oh yeah.
Just so you guys know, in Kalamazoo at Western Michigan, we were bowling enthusiasts as well.
Oh, we would have had a battle. If you weren't rolling a 200, get the hell out. Like
I wasn't good. I was definitely the weak link. It's not my sport. I got the body for bowling. I got the body for it, but I don't have the talent. My hands are too little. My wrists are too weak. I can hardly hold those big balls.
I know.
You got to go to the light one, but
I try to go with the light one, right? But then I feel strong. It's just not my sport.
It bounces on the lane.
It's not my sport. The little fingers, I'm using like the little kids balls with my little fingers. It's tough.
So what we do, because it was like those. Wasn't it those like $5 towers of beers on Mondays?
Yeah. So
they were huge.
It was like a big tower.
I go out for one piss and you guys start talking dirty.
Oh yeah,
this is exactly what happened at our bowling.
So we had Mondays was the bowling night, train wreck. Tuesdays was the dollar domestics at Shooters. Wednesdays was the dollar pitchers at River Rock. Thursday was just Thursday at Shooters.
Yeah, $2 bottles.
We had those dollars.
Is this isn't during season? This is off season. Then you're hitting.
Well, no, it was all the way around, but like we wouldn't go
during season. Once
Sunday,
off
Monday.
Yeah. Yes, right, and the summertime.
Monday night was our last.
That's when your hockey season ends in university. Like when you guys have been through all that,
can you bump up the allowance there?
As soon as that season ends, my goodness, those next 2 weeks are an absolute circus.
It was, and then Thursdays was just Thursday. We always had that like, basically it sounds stupid, it sounds bad, but it's like, well, I want the hockey player special, and it was like $1.50, like triple whiskey and ice.
For a buck.
it was with that little Coke in there. I don't know whatever.
It was clear. It was always clear for some reason.
Yeah. That's a whiskey Coke. Yeah. What the hell?
This looks good.
Cripplers. Yeah. And then Friday was Friday. Saturday was Saturday. But then Sunday we always started. Remember, we had our sweatpants Sundays. We'd go to Shooters and play pool. And we were like, you can only wear sweatpants or PJs there. Like it was just more of a casual. We started that like our senior year, maybe. That got silly.
Once, you don't show up in sweatpants until you're a senior. That's when you get comfortable, and you're like,
we were
here.
Sleeping in the dorms all the time, and Jesus.
Freshman year, you're a little too nervous to be showing up in sweatpants.
Yeah, no, we kind of made it mandatory, but those were fun.
Those 4 years though in university though, when you think about it, like your first year when you show up all scared and nervous, and then by the time you leave, you're like, I got this.
Right.
My sophomore year, I didn't have a card. I bought a BMX. I was a big BMXer when I was younger, and had pegs on the front, pegs on the back,
like a stunt bike. Yeah,
it was a stunt bike. So I would go to class, park it, and that's how we got around. So obviously the snow fell, but in the summertime, I could put one in the front, one in the back, and I could. When I'd leave my house, I'd go down the hill and I'd go into the park, and then the bike path would start, and I could go right to the bar. I bring the guy's like, oh, Louise here, park my bike into the road check.
Pick up a little speed,
and I figured on the way out, pick my bike back up, and we'd go back home or go up to Winnick or whatever we did.
Yeah. Well, we'd go there if we go tubing in the summer, the river.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, when I went to Big
Beach.
Rapids, it didn't seem like there was that much to do. Like we went as the Shirking team and we had a time and we were staying in a hotel, but like,
man, there wasn't much to do, but you always found something to do.
You always found something fun. Yeah.
Well, think about it. We had our summers. Okay. Summers, we were working at the course. So we'd either golf in the afternoon, we go tubing, or we played
hockey camps.
Or hockey camps, but we also played for that Big Rapids towing softball team.
Oh yeah,
right. So we'd have a softball game once a week. Like it was blast, man. It was unreal. Like they sponsored this team, and they'd always get a bunch of the hockey guys to just play for this team for them in the summer. And it was a blast.
I forgot about that. That's where Rollo blew his ankle.
Oh yeah, right. Before our senior year.
Greg Rallo, that was a guy. Yeah. I thought he was the same class.
Sliding into third.
So is he a year after?
Was a year younger.
Younger. He was a pretty good player. I saw the research team was hot today, and he played in the NHL.
Yeah. I think he's assistant coach.
Assistant coach
in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
Milwaukee.
Yeah, he was a good player.
With Scott Ford.
And he played for Idaho too and beat us with Dayton.
He played with me that year. Yeah, that was his rookie year.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can talk forever, and I think we could go over this forever. Yeah. But I don't think everybody else needs to listen to it anymore, eh?
No.
But seriously, thank you guys.
I gotta throw this out here quickly.
Yeah, do it. That your jersey should be retired in Sheffield. We already got that covered.
Rob Dowd is going to pass my goals.
Oh, shit. We wrote that down in the notes. Nezzy and I were talking before you showed up.
Well, you said it. Yeah.
No, so seriously, he's going to pass you. Is that goals or points?
Goals. I'm at 266 or whatever. He could do it this weekend, so I just want to give him a shout out to, Dowdy to get her fucking done.
Seriously, then, that's cool that you're the guy that he has to pass, right? Because if you didn't do it, you did. Like I saw people are like, oh, well, Legue's happy that he's going to pass him. It's like, well, if you didn't do what you did, they're not calling you to ask you how you feel about it.
Right. So are you the leading points guy there? Or just goals? Or which?
I guess I'm in third for points, but I guess there's some speculation that the two guys ahead of me played in the league. I don't know the whole situation, but
if they change, okay.
You don't know if your number's 11 or 12. You don't know anything.
Man, I just played.
You just headed back to Cornwall and said, "Hey, I did my time. I had a great time."
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for everything. I
think
Dowdy
was a great kid coming through when I first started. He was young. And he had he's blown his expectation, and he's only 32 or 33.
And he had some injuries, right? Didn't he hurt a shoulder?
And he got injured. Yeah.
And he's a British kid, and we haven't talked about that. A British kid to be breaking your record for the most goals. That is a hell of an accomplishment for not just a player, but also a British player. Like that's pretty incredible.
That just shows what type of player he was, I knew unbelievable shot, great hands, could score from anywhere. And, it's just, I knew it was only a matter of time.
Well, it's pretty cool that that's happening, and good for him. And hopefully he comes into the shed someday, right? Because we got Sheffield Steelers fans, right? So
there you go. Another name on the list.
Yeah, no, and congrats to him whenever he gets her done. I'm sure he will. And then Nezzy, is there any
Nezzy getting a call for curfew there in 10 minutes?
I was gonna say, the coach is probably
I do the calls.
A couple knocks.
Oh, you do the calls.
I do the calls.
I was going to say
when you're the oldest guy in the league.
Did I ask, is there any Atlanta Gladiator jerseys retired yet?
Yeah, there's two.
Who else?
Cam Brown, who was my captain my first year. He was he had led the league. He's like second in PIMS all time, third, or he's like up there in games played all time, actually, in the league. He's an ECHL Hall of Famer, I think, too. He's up there.
From the Gwinnett days, too?
Yeah. And then Andy Brandt, who came in, I played with, lived with, and he coached me when I came back here in 2015. He's younger than me. He came in after me. But yeah, I know. So he coached me. That was a big reason.
Yeah, we do know.
It's a big reason why I came back, though. Yeah, it's a big reason why I came back, though, because he was coaching. We want to be you. Right. I hear that bit. Yeah.
You're in Fort Myers, is that right?
Yeah.
What temperature is it there, Legue?
Minus
in Cornwall?
I think it's feels like minus 32 or something.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
No, seriously though, congratulations.
It's only minus 25.
Congratulations, both of you. I saw it in college. You guys were good. I think I'm pretty good at rating talent, but what do I know? But I saw in college that you guys were both good. I could tell you're both good dudes. You can tell when you play against teams, which guys their teams respect, like their teammates like them. You can tell which teams their teammates don't like them. And like, I've always been able to tell that you two were guys that your teammates liked you. You were the best players on the team. And I had a lot of respect for you guys. And I like playing against you, you know?
Thanks, Wally.
Yeah.
And congrats on getting jersey 11.5 retired, and what it'll be up jersey 17 in Atlanta.
That's what I wear. Yeah,
that's what you're wearing. And then 1,000 games is pretty cool. And have fun at the Spit and Chicklets thing. That's pretty cool. Shout out to them for being good dudes. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that'll be fun. Cool. And congratulations. You deserve everything you get, man.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And this has been another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Legue and Nezzy and Wally.